is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
To Stephen Gardner's gold medal at the Olympics, and all eyes on Tokyo for Shawnee Miller-Weibo's run in the 400 meters. Outstanding demand for vaccine at Loyola Hall. And in our discussion today, we are talking about the upcoming Caribbean Commonwealth Law Conference with the Commonwealth Lawyers Association. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan. And this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's there. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up. It's a new day. Wake up. It's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Friday, August 6th, 2021. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Stephen Hanna will be joining us. Also this morning in Morning Blend Business, we are talking with IRCA. So many things to talk to them about: the telecommunications sector, the energy sector. A lot to get to with IRCA this morning. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, after a new shipment of doses of the COVID vaccine brought an end to the dire shortage that the country had been facing, officials say that vaccination appointments are being filled quickly, with over 600 people scheduled to receive doses at the vaccine at Loyola Hall yesterday. Barry Rassin, who is a member of the National Vaccine Consultative Committee, said that demand has been high. He is calling it outstanding. And he says as soon as they put appointments up online, they are gone. As of July 31st, nearly 107,000 doses of the vaccine had been administered in the country. Prior to the Tuesday arrival of the third tranche of 33,600 AstraZeneca doses from COVAX, the country had been facing a critical shortage of doses. However, before availability became an issue, many were concerned that widespread vaccine hesitancy in the country would hamper uptake. The administering of vaccines trickled to a halt last week before resuming yesterday at Loyola Hall. Rassin says that in addition to Loyola Hall, other centers will open come Monday, including Church of God of Prophecy on East Street, which can accommodate roughly 250 people each day. St. Anselm's Roman Catholic Church on Bernard Road, which can accommodate 250 people per day as well. And Bahamar, which can accommodate 800 people each day. Meanwhile, prominent family medical physician Dr. Tyrone Bartlett, who had been against taking the COVID-19 vaccine, saying now that it was like staring down the barrel of a gun after he and his family tested positive for the coronavirus. Bartlett, who is now advocating that people get vaccinated, said, quote, "I've been humbled and I've been set right." You can read more about his story in today's Nassau Guardian. A bar owner who sold numbers without a gaming license having to pay a $5,000 fine to avoid spending 1 year in prison. 52-year-old Emilas Northalis, who was arrested after an undercover officer purchased a 3-ball ticket from his mini bar on Charles Saunders Highway back on July 29th. According to police, Northalis' business license confines him to wholesale and retail liquor sales. According to the officer who testified in court after the illegal sale, officers raided the bar and confiscated 3 printers and a computer. Northalis pleaded guilty to conducting gaming activities without the appropriate license at his arraignment before Senior Magistrate Darren Roll Davis earlier in the week. Roll Davis deferred sentencing. And police say that a man is dead and another is missing at sea after the boat they were on began to take on water. Police say that 3 men went fishing in waters off western New Providence when their boat's engine failed and the boat started to take on water. The men then attempted to swim to shore. The body of one man washed ashore near Love Estates around 3 p.m. yesterday. One man made it to shore safely and another was still missing. Overseas, a French constitutional court validating most aspects of a new law that starting next week requires people to carry a special COVID-19 health pass to access cafes, restaurants, long-distance travel, and in some cases, hospitals. But it struck down several measures for not meeting constitutional muster. The Constitutional Council ruling Thursday that the automatic 10-day isolation of people infected with the virus, allowed to go outside for only 2 hours per day, goes against French freedoms. Such deprivation of liberty is, quote, not necessary, adapted, or proportional. According to the ruling, the current, less strict 10-day self-isolation for people infected with the virus will apparently remain in effect. The court also struck down suspension of short-term contracts for those without a health pass, while accepting a suspension without remuneration of salaried employees with long-term contracts. The legislation was sped urgently through Parliament last week as virus infections soared due to the highly contagious Delta variant, which now accounts for most cases in France. In sports, of course, the whole country captivated by Stephen Gardner's gold medal run at the 400 meters. For more on this and Team Bahamas in Tokyo, here's our man Sheldon Longley.
Good day, Bahamas. This is Sheldon Longley coming to you from the 32nd Olympic Games here in Tokyo, Japan. And it was a golden night for the Bahamas on Thursday. Stephen Gardner running around the track in 43.85 seconds. Gold medal for the Bahamas in the men's 400 meters. It was his second fastest time ever. A new world lead, a new season's best. Gold for the Bahamas. Men's 400 meters, 43.85 seconds. Stephen becoming the first Bahamian individual male gold medalist for the Bahamas at the Olympics in history. 43.85 seconds, new season's best for him. Anthony Zambrano of Colombia, he finished with the silver, 44.08 seconds, and the bronze went to former world and Olympic champion Kirani James of Grenada, 44.19 seconds. I was able to talk to Stephen when he came to the mix zone last night. Let me let you listen to what he had to say.
You know, I was able to do it here in front of all the amazing staff and the Bahamian media and everybody watching back home. I just want to say thank you so much for all the support, and all my hard work has paid off once again. Take us to the race. You know, my coach Gary, we talked about it, and we prayed about it right before I went on. Yes, sir. For the follow-up. So thank you. We talked about it. We set up a race plan for my first 40 meters of the race. I did happen how he wanted to. I stumbled a bit coming out of the block, but I didn't let it get the best of me. Stop or anything. I just kept it moving. I just kept it moving, and I'm just happy that I was able to recover from it. And 200 meters to go, I just set up how I normally set it up, and 100 meters to go, I just let it rip.
It looked like that first part of the race, you stumbled a little bit, but then you're right at the ship. What was going through your mind at that point?
I was like, oh, I messed up. But I just kept it moving, you know? I didn't let my opponents get the best of me. They were all out and running, and I just had a fight in me, you know? And I just wanted to do it so bad and wanted to win. And now it's mission accomplished. When you still had the movement, it was like second to second. Oh, going through my mind, I was watching the screen, I was like, okay, everybody's coming for me, you know, and I was out in front. I was just like, oh, it's on now. I'm out in front, the line is approaching fast. And I just didn't want anybody to catch me, so I just kept it going.
What do you
Bahamas, that was Stephen Gardner running a new season's best of 43.85 seconds. As I mentioned, it was his second fastest time ever, a new world lead, and good enough for the gold medal last night. Anthony Zambrano of Colombia winning the silver, and Kirani James winning the bronze. The news wasn't also good for the Bahamas yesterday. The women's 4x4 team of Denisha Anderson, Megan Moss, Brian Bethel, and Anthony Strachan, they failed to finish as Anthony experienced some discomfort in her knee on the ankle leg, and she was unable to finish the race. She ended up walking off the track. I was able to speak to her when she came to the mix zone last night. Let me let you talk to her and see what she had to say.
Well, yesterday we was doing relay exchanges and my knee caught a cramp. And I have some inflammation in the area and it's giving me a lot of discomfort. So I want to run, but at the same time, like I've been through this so many times where I don't listen to my body and then it messes me up later on. So I felt something and I just decided to stop. So.
Bahamas, that was Anthony Strachan. As mentioned, she was unable to finish her race. She said she felt some discomfort in her knee, and it was too much pain for her to continue. She ended up walking out the track, and the Bahamas ended up with her did not finish in that race last night, so that was kind of unfortunate there. But as I mentioned, gold for the Bahamas in the men's 400 meters, Stephen Gardner, 43.85 seconds, a new season's best, a new world lead, and his second fastest time ever, becoming the first Bahamian individual Olympic gold medalist for the Bahamas, male Olympic gold medalist for the Bahamas on the track. This is Sheldon Loney reporting live from the site of the 32nd Olympic Games here in Tokyo, Japan.
And again, we are all waiting for this morning, 8:35 our time. Shauna Milawibo, defending champion in the women's 400 meters at the Olympics. She will be running this morning, we're told, out of lane 7. And before that, 8:20, the medal ceremony for Stephen Gardner and the 400 meters. And we'll get to hear the Bahamian national anthem, 8:20 this morning. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got a ridge of high pressure extending from the Atlantic that will stretch across the Bahamas, maintaining gentle to moderate east to southeast winds over the islands today. Meanwhile, a weakening upper-level trough near the area will support a few showers and thunderstorms. There remains a slight threat for waterspouts and or funnel clouds today. Beachgoers and swimmers in the southeast Bahamas should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents along east coast beaches, and everybody once again being advised to limit outdoor activities and to remain hydrated due to heat indices expected in the triple digits again today. For the northwest and central Bahamas, your forecast calls for partly sunny and hot conditions with a few scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, becoming mainly fair and warm tonight with an isolated shower or two possible. For boaters, look for gusty winds and higher seas in showers and thunderstorms. Winds east to southeast to 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet. For the southeast Bahamas, variably cloudy, warm, and breezy with isolated showers and thunderstorms through tonight. Small craft operators should exercise caution. Winds east to southeast at 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet. High temperatures getting up to around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. Again, the heat indices are in the triple digits today. Lows tonight getting down to about 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook and a look at the tropics coming up after traffic in just a bit. It's time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
It's so summer with Esso, and that's why we're giving away thousands of dollars in fuel, food, and other fun prizes every week. Simply up at $25 or more. Enter using your receipt, and you could be a winner this summer with Esso. Terms and conditions apply. Visit bettergasmileage.com/its-so-summer or our Facebook page for details. Promotion ends August 29th, 2021. It's fun! Food, fuel, and other great prizes every week. The Esso brand is a trademark of ExxonMobil Corporation and is used under license.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's still. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Join me now, Stephen Hanna. Good morning, Stephen Hanna.
Hey, what's up?
I'm doing well. Hope you're doing well. How are
you? Know, life is short, Dwight. Life is short.
That is true.
It's like
okay.
So you gotta go out there and take advantage of life while you have it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Okay. All right. A lot happening this morning. A lot to get to. It's going to be a little chaotic. So we're monitoring a number of things. Of course, this morning, a lot happening in Tokyo. We have at 8:20 the medal ceremony for Stephen Gardner and the 400 meters. So the Bahamian national anthem will be played, and that is going to be incredible. And then a few minutes after that, it is the women's final for the 400 meters, and we are all hoping and praying and keeping everything crossed that it's going to be Shauna Milawibo this morning with that gold medal. And so that's big. And there's a lot of other things happening, getting some reports in, and this is unbelievable. People in New Providence. And really, we've had 2 days of it. We've been talking about it on the show, about the issues with energy in the country and primarily with the the largest energy provider here. But these people out in Western New Providence have had their power off since after 9 last night. Some are saying that it came on for them around 4. Others are still out. And we are not hearing anything from, well, this is 9, 10 o'clock last night. Nothing from BPL on this, which is not surprising. But what's going on? What is going on? And it's every day for some of us on the island. Some people tell me they haven't been off in a while. Well, good for you. But this is insane.
They don't know they're off.
Right. But again, we don't know what's going on. This is the first reports were just before 10 last night, and some are still off. So, my goodness. So that's bad. And then, of course, is COVID. Of course, is COVID. We're going to have a lot more to say on that. Let's begin with that right now, with what's in the news. All right, so some disturbing news coming out of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And people are losing their minds. So Reuters is reporting, and this is widely reported actually, but Reuters, I'm reading this article from Reuters, is saying the Prime Minister of the Caribbean country, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, was struck by an object on Thursday during COVID-19 related protests and was set to be flown to nearby Barbados for medical treatment, officials said. Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves had been walking through a group of some 200 protesters to reach the entrance to Parliament when he was hit by a projectile just above his temple, according to his office in a statement. A Reuters witness who had seen protesters throw water bottles and stones heard a person in the crowd yell, quote, "Somebody's busted the Prime Minister's head." In fact, there is a video going around. You can hear that person say that. Reuters images show that blood from Gonsalves' head wound had stained his white dress shirt crimson as an aide held a wad of paper towels to his head. The Prime Minister's office said he had been bleeding profusely and taken to the hospital. His office saying, quote, he has informed his colleagues that he is recovering. During a Parliament session in the evening, the finance minister said medical staff had recommended that the Prime Minister be flown to Barbados for an MRI scan. The incident took place as the Prime Minister, who was 74 years old, had been returning to a Parliament session where lawmakers were discussing a public health reform that would require most frontline workers to be vaccinated against the coronavirus. That's all. And that led to that. They were discussing a public health reform that would require most frontline workers to be vaccinated against coronavirus. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which comprises a chain of small islands in the southern Caribbean, is home to more than 110,000 residents and known for its picturesque harbors and white sand beaches. The nation's tourism industry was hit hard by the coronavirus pandemic, and some 15,000 people were displaced from a volcano that erupted in April after decades of inactivity. So, tempers are flaring all over, but that is not acceptable. And I'm sure everybody here knows, right? I'm sure, right? Everybody knows that that's not the way to deal with this at all. But very disturbing. And if you think you have it bad, right, when you gotta fly somebody to another nearby country. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Okay. But very disturbing. Very disturbing. And the protests are enough. There's no reason to become potentially deadly in your violence. In violence at all. You don't need that. But people are really losing their minds over this stuff. And yet it takes coming close to death for people to realize that perhaps they shouldn't have this hard stance on matters. We are hearing stories like this every day, except for yesterday, where that family was defiant. They were saying they're not doing it. I don't know what's going on there. But today in the Nassau Guardian, Dr. Tyrone Bartlett, many of you will know him as Platty Dread. He's a doctor. He's a medical doctor, but he had been against taking the COVID-19 vaccine. Our Rachel Scott writing about this today. He is now advocating that people indeed get vaccinated. He said, quote, "I've been humbled and I've been set right. When you have family and loved ones being threatened, staring down the barrel of a gun that can go either way, you can either lose your life or you can survive. You know, it's such a precarious position. It's humbling. And there's no defense against trying to do the best you can to prevent something like that." Bartlett and his family tested positive for COVID. He runs Harmony Healthcare in Nassau. He and his wife and their 2 sons contracted COVID-19. He said that he and his wife both developed pneumonia and were bedridden. While Bartlett says they've both recovered and regained their strength. It took aggressive in-home care, including 24-hour nursing, intravenous medication, and supplemental oxygen for them to recover. Bartlett said that he really believed he was going to die. He said, quote, "It felt like there was a hole in the middle of my being and my energy was being sucked out of it and I couldn't stop it. I couldn't get to the bottom of my breath. Every time I took a deep breath in, it was like I couldn't reach. There was a wall there and it was pain. And when I tried to get past it to reach my life, I couldn't touch my life force. And that was frightening, and I felt I couldn't help myself at that point. I could only wait for something to happen."
That's so poetic.
Oh, man. Wow.
That's like the most poetic interpretation of that I've ever heard.
Well, hey, I guess when you come that close, it'll flow out of you.
Next door?
It'll flow out of you after that. Bartlett says that with so many COVID cases being confirmed, it's impossible to determine where or how his family contracted the virus. He says, quote, "The only thing you can calculate is that it's coming for you and that you should be as extremely cautious as possible, as there seems to be no defense to stop it from getting into your family." Prior to, Bartlett says that he and his family suffered from COVID. He deeply regretted not taking the vaccine as they suffered. He said, quote, "The vaccine rollout is a little behind, and unfortunately the hesitancy has contributed too much to that. And I think people need to realize that once something as frightening as this, all of your previous doubts about the vaccine go out the window, as you are full of regret and you wish you would have been more compliant. You would wish that you hadn't had the actual nerve to sit back and equivocate over something that could save your life. You know, it's a stupid position to put yourself in and put your family in." Okay. Wow. All right. So,
I don't know. I don't know. Because okay. It's just like when you speak with a certain strength, you know, initially, and then like you backtrack, yeah, it's cool, you've experienced it and all that stuff. But now what about the people that were moved by the energy of your initial position?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, this is why, and regardless of what side of whatever argument you fall on, it is important to speak honestly and not with emotion. And me and you partially had this conversation yesterday, right? You always have on doctors on the program.
Yeah.
You have on DeLon Brennan. You have on, oh God, I want to say Indira.
No. Dr. Nakia Forbes. Mm-hmm.
Nakia Forbes. I don't know why I blanked out just now again. Mm-hmm. All right? You have on Dr. Pinto. You have on all these various doctors who come on your program and they talk about this stuff. And I feel like they're talking about it, I don't want to say dispassionately, but they try not to like overwrought it with emotion and dramatics and all this different stuff. And then I just try to like, okay, this is what we know so far. This is what's happening. Please take it seriously. And then we turn around, there are people who are like trying to appeal to your emotion and your fear or your anger or your distrust or whatever. And it's like, cool, that's of you know, communication and all that. But now when it comes to this, And now we've removed all the fear and anxiety because it's actually here. It's at our door. Now what? You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, it's important to realize how powerful your words can be before it's too late. Because there could be people who hear me saying something. Those people die as a result of what I've said because they trust Stephen. They think Stephen's so intelligent. Stephen's so smart. Stephen has a degree from a college, so he must be intelligent. And then
obviously
Stephen,
that's not how it works here because these people have multiple degrees and they're listening. But I get your point.
Mm-hmm. Right, and so it's like everybody have a degree in this day and age, right? And I could be a doctor of philosophy, and people would be like, "Oh, you have to listen to me. He's a doctor." Right? And I turn around, I change my position because of a personal Damascus experience. And that, to me, is a problem because it's like that person already dead.
But hey, that's how humans are. The thing is, you've got to be as forceful now as you were before. And you have to speak as frequently and use all those same avenues.
You need to become as Paul, and go preach just as
That's
hard
right. That's right. Right. As many posts that you made against stuff, you need to do more in support of what happened. Right.
And I agree. But for the people who haven't started down that road yet, I encourage you to actually think about what you're doing and not come at everything with emotion and distrust and stop thinking in binaries where it's like, I don't like Dwight, therefore everything Dwight says is stupid. Or I like Stephen, therefore everything that Stephen says is correct. You have to look at life beyond binaries and just say, even though I like Stephen, there's some things that he says that I went and I looked it up. It's not true. That's not exactly how it works. But like you gotta dig deeper into these stuff as people listening, but also as people talking. You have to be aware and cognizant that there are people who are already anxious and already afraid of everything. We live in a dark and dangerous world, and it's very easy to throw people into a loop. And they're already afraid of needles. They're already afraid of doctors. They already wasn't getting healthcare on a regular day before this pandemic. And then you turn around and you tell them, you don't trust it. You're not going to do it. There's no reason for it. The government is just doing this because the government is evil. And that's all that they needed to hear to be like, okay, it's okay if I stay home because that person who I deem intelligent is doing that.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I hear this story, and I heard the story the other day with Wayne Monroe, and it's just like, I want people, particularly people with power. We ain't talking about, if the joints on the side of the road tell you that, you wouldn't bat an eye. You wouldn't say, oh yeah, this homeless, this drug addict, this person with mental health issues told me that the vaccine is going to take over my DNA and blah, blah, blah. And so I believe it. You wouldn't say that. But there are people, you have a position of authority and you got to regard that correctly. And you can't just be saying the first thought to come to your head publicly because your words carry more weight.
Yeah.
And that's my thought on that story as well as the other stories. And like you say, they need to go, if you had your road to Damascus moment, then you got to go full Paul. You know what I'm saying? It's not enough to do one interview with the newspapers. You got to everything that you did, what the Bible say, everything you stole, you got to give back 5 times as much or twice as much. That's the route you got to take at this point.
All right, let's hear from you folks. Give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. 422-4796, that's the text line. Okay. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hi, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, how you doing?
Good morning.
That's good. Let me ask you something. The vaccine that came into the Bahamas, I think it was on Tuesday.
Right.
Let me ask you something. The vaccine for Church of God and St. Anselm and the rest of them, where they coming from?
It's the same batch.
No, because why are they not open?
They're opening on Monday.
Why Monday?
Organization.
Man, is something wrong?
There's nothing wrong. They're opening on Monday.
No,
Simple
listen
as
to
that.
me. But they should have been open. Because
Okay.
people trying to get vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
Understand me?
Okay.
I done been down to Loyola Hall probably about 3 or 4 times. Didn't get it. My
Well,
second dose.
they need you
go
to
online?
register online first. They want you to book that online. You just can't
But
show
every
up.
time, every time when you get online, it's like 2 slots open.
Well, that
and
was
then
before.
sometime when you get in, it's gone.
That was before Tuesday, right?
No.
Since Tuesday?
I tell you,
Okay.
I was supposed to have my second dose at least since about a month ago.
So that's what I'm saying, before Tuesday, yes. So now that the vaccines are here, it should be easier. Other people were having the same issues, and they were able this week, since Tuesday, to book their appointments. So if you go back online, it should be a much easier process for you.
But this is pretty hard even for the older people who can't really use the phone to do this kind of thing.
Right.
That's why I'm trying to figure out. I was watching MSNBC yesterday, and they're giving vaccine in cars.
Yeah. Well, we are very
Kids
small,
getting their vaccine in a car.
very small country.
What is hard out here?
Well, no, wait 1 second. Okay, so this is an important thing to remember, right? Look around you and get a map out and remember that you live in the Bahamas, right? And that's a very important thing to remember. How much money? This is a thing. If I want y'all to stop only watching American news, right? Watch news from other countries besides America, and because right now in the entire world, one of the accusations being levied against America is that because America has so much money and so much capital at its disposal, they have bought up. And the larger countries, America
Sorry,
and all
Stephen.
these, I'm just saying,
I know.
I'm saying-
I just want to stop this because this adds to people thinking that something's wrong. Let's not even go down this road. I know, but let's not do it. Let's not do it. Caller.
Dwight.
No, let's stop. Let's just stop. Let's just stop.
my God.
Because this adds to people thinking there's a problem. Let's not encourage. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But trust me on this. We can't do this. We can't do this. Caller, try making your appointment again. If you have some younger relatives who can help you, there's nothing wrong. It isn't this Monday is fine. They had to get themselves together. We don't have to. It's not a conspiracy. It's not a problem. Yeah, no, it's
no
not.
one's saying it's a conspiracy.
No, I'm talking to him. But Stephen, let's not do that on the show today because people keep looking for something to say. Well, that's why. So let's just no. Just seriously, just no. Let's please. For me, we could talk off air about it, but. Let's not enter because any little thing like what he's doing, what that caller did, will feed into the hysteria about this, and it's unnecessary. There's a shortage all over, sir. That's all, right? And give them some time. It's here now. You get your vaccine next week, it'll be fine. It's not a panic. There's no reason to be up in arms about it. Everybody, just calm down. Just calm down.
But the reason why they're feeling that way is because they're looking next door and they're like, well, how come they have so much abundance and we don't have any? And it's a very simple explanation.
Yeah, let's do that.
They bought it.
That's
and they invest. They had the money to invest in literally and pre-purchase from different persons. They bought more vaccine than they will ever need, and so when the vaccine comes out, every time it's produced, they get the first set. And that's not just America, that's Britain, that's France, that's all these larger, some of them are European countries, some is America, but all these quote-unquote developed countries, they purchased it because they saw this is going to be an important country back on track.
Okay.
The smaller countries like us didn't have the money to outbid them.
Yeah.
And that's why we're borrowing. That's all I'm explaining. I'm not explaining.
Yeah. I get it. No. I get it. I'm just saying that
I'm saying that
following up on certain things.
Know that.
Some people will never.
Because that's the thing.
Okay, we've wasted too much time. We gotta go. We gotta go to this call. Sorry, I'm just saying it's just too much. We've been talking about the same thing forever. We can't continue to do this. We can't. It's not a big deal, folks. The vaccines are here. If you are ready for your second dose, make your appointments. And if they open on Monday, what? Okay. They weren't there last week. They weren't there 2 weeks ago. They're finally here. That's just a couple days away. It's fine. It's fine. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Are you there? No. Okay. Call us back. Some people, they're just looking for anything. Anything. That's going to sound like an excuse to them, a conspiracy, another reason for why they have to be distrusting. And
I mean, it's going to sound like an excuse to them as well as if they don't know the answer. So, I mean, like, I'm saying, like, regardless, people will want confirmation of what they already believe.
Yeah.
Right? But it is also important that when they are coughing and sick and on the way to the hospital, that they also remember that somebody said to them that the reason why for this thing was a simple thing.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's important. You can't just have somebody spouting an accusation and it is unmet. Because like that's just as dangerous as, well, it's the same thing. Because then the only part of the conversation you would have heard would have been, okay, why is this happening?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yes, sure. Or not provide a platform for the crazy accusations too.
Man, yeah,
but you're right.
But you don't want to cut people off. I usually had to cut people off from when they say good morning.
It was,
No. Y'all usually wait till they say the whole sentence.
I'm hoping that they go send somewhere sensible.
Nope. If we cut people, let's cut them. People, you hear their voice and you say, "Okay, good night, thank you."
Wow. But you are right.
Your 5 cents.
I do wonder if people are watching.
If you let them say the whole sentence, you can't just let crazy float.
I do agree. People need to be watching more. I don't know what's happening.
International news.
They don't seem to be paying attention. Yeah.
Don't just watch OAN. Don't just watch Fox. Don't just watch MSNBC and CNN. I need you to flip a couple more times. At least go to BBC.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? You need to go diversify what you are digesting.
Yeah. And on that same device that you use to do the TikTok stuff, there are lots of sites.
I don't know who
there.
you think listen to your station. Because
Okay,
nobody who is listening to you, Dwight,
I don't think that's right.
TikTok.
Sadly, there are a bunch of old people who shouldn't be on TikTok. But not that everybody who listens is old, as you are seemingly trying to imply, Stephen Hanna. But anyway, if you are on these devices, there are lots of great apps there with information about what's happening in the world, so you can find out how bad things are.
I would push you guys to Vice, to like your organization or Al Jazeera, or specific organizations, because the last thing you want them to do is just be wandering aimlessly inside the dark internet.
That is true. All right, some text messages here. Someone says, "I'm happy the good doctor came around to acknowledging that the vaccine is all that we have to move us out of this COVID crisis to the point where people are not getting seriously ill or dying. There are still Guardian Radio talk show hosts who are irresponsibly taking a ferocious anti-vaccine stance, and there are people listening to them who are trusting them because of the platform they have." Okay, I hear you. People have different views, and we don't all have the same views on this station. It's contrary to ridiculous reports elsewhere. Okay, another one here. Dwight, please, I heard your report about the number of people that are lining up for the vaccine. Those people are the many people that required their second dose. Remember, not even 10% of the country was fully vaccinated before last month, and 63,000 was administered altogether. So that left 20,000 plus people still before the last stock. Okay, and they can get theirs now. They can get theirs. If you want it, you can get it. Thank you. Okay. Another text here. Stephen spoke my sentiments exactly. Voices of influence need to be careful with their speech and now more vocal in support of protecting our country. Yes, definitely. Stephen, couldn't agree with you more. We're going to get more of these stories from people who were so negative against getting vaccinated. I plead with my fellow citizens to be safe rather than be sorry. Tell these people to get off the phone. Thank you, Dwight. Simply go and get your vaccine. Go register online and you can get your shot. Let's back to the lights here. Someone says, "What if the lights are off out west? Bahamians." Oh, what? Oh, so what if the lights are off out west? Bahamians complain too much now. You, whoever you are, really, you're being funny, right? That's a joke. Again, these people have been off since 9-something last night. They're paying for that. All their appliances and electronics are destroyed, likely. That's complaining? Maybe that's a joke. Okay. This one says here. Okay, my goodness, what is this? This one says here, what do you think of this? About 3/4 of people infected in a Massachusetts COVID-19 outbreak were fully vaccinated, according to new data published Friday by the CDC. Where is this coming from? I got to find this. Anyway, the new data published in the U.S. agency's Morbidity and Mortality Weekly report, wow, also found that fully vaccinated people who get infected carry as much of the virus in their nose as unvaccinated people. The report stated 74%. In all fairness, people have a right to be concerned. Thank you. Well, yes, they do. But you're still less likely to die if you are vaccinated. Right?
Would you want to?
I'm just that needs to sink in. You're less likely to die. You might get COVID and you could spread it. They've said that from the beginning. But you're less likely to die. In fact, so far, we're told nobody has who was fully vaccinated. People have been infected who were fully vaccinated, but nobody has died. We're told. And this one here wanted to put out there that people who have already had COVID and recovered, they should be given some form of card similar to those who have been vaccinated. Why? Why should they? Why should they?
I mean, you mean if the people who are vaccinated should have a card?
No, the people who've had COVID and recovered should be given a card. And what about it? What are you going to use that? What about it? What about it? Because what? They can still... Anyway, let me continue to read your text. I will reiterate that this is not to say go out there and get COVID, but rather I'm saying that for those who have had COVID and now have antibodies, just like the vaccinated, that they at least be treated the same, since medically speaking the result is the same. Have you been vaccinated as yet? I'm almost fully vaccinated, and I'm telling you now, there are folks who have had COVID and have done the antibody tests, have had the shock of their lives to find out how many antibodies they have. It's a big fat zero. So rely on that, and it'll be to your death. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Glenn. I'd like to draw one analogy and then make a statement. If you're a boxer, one of the things that you like to have under your belt is where you didn't just knock out someone, you actually killed them. I mean, deep down inside if you ask most boxers who are boxing professionally, they want to have that under their belt. Okay, if you're a virus programmer, like a computer virus programmer, like I experiment with the TSRs, those that terminate literally what this virus is doing, you want to design a virus that's going to be so effective that when the antivirus, you know how we have these big companies selling antivirus, when they try to tamper with it, you want your virus to actually reinvent itself in a different form. And I'm believing that the vaccines may be feeding the additional variants. That's just my thought. I don't want you to panic, but just look out for it because they say it's only been coming out after the vaccines, correct?
What?
Well, that's some people's theory.
No, what I'm saying is the variants are popping up as vaccines pop up.
There were other variants before the vaccines were widely distributed, though.
Okay.
You remember?
But I know
Brazil and India, some of those were out. South Africa, that was before.
From 2020?
Yeah. So there have been variants from very early on.
Because
long before vaccines.
Before the vaccines were available, yeah.
Well, okay, I just want to keep an eye on how these variants are popping up.
These might be dangerous, but...
It's a case in point right here.
But...
Like, this is a case in point of we're allowing a conversation that is...
Okay, I stop.
Okay, all right. Well, we're going to have to just shut off the whole thing, just shut down the station. Let's take this final call.
I'm just saying, if right is right and fair is fair, like we've already addressed, that's not how the viruses mutate, no matter what. So it's like...
Let's take this final call. Good morning, caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Dwight and Stephen. How are you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, good morning to the nation. Dwight, you just acknowledged something that was very important, and I want to link it back to something the Minister of Health stated a while back. You stated that many persons got the shock of their lives who were positive with COVID-19 and thought that they had sufficient antibodies built up, only to find out upon testing that they did not have nearly enough, right? Correct, Dwight?
Yes.
Okay. Now, contrary to what the minister publicly in the news, where he was misleading the Bahamian people, stating that they are accounting for the persons who not only got the vaccine, but persons who were tested positive for COVID-19 and recovered, when the government has not performed an analysis on those individuals by testing to determine if they actually have sufficient antibodies to protect them against COVID-19. So it was rather irresponsible. It was completely irresponsible, and it was totally misleading of the minister to make such statements. And contrary to what you have been telling the callers this morning, Dwight, in terms of misinformation, the government of the Bahamas itself, through the Prime Minister and the Minister of Health, has been providing the most misinformation as it relates to COVID-19. They are the ones who really need to be kept because they have a platform that reaches the entire country. Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you very much. So this person's saying, so hold on. So you and Stephen are saying if you don't agree with taking the vaccine, you won't be allowed to speak your views. How sad is that? Okay.
I didn't say that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that if you are, I'm asking persons, because once again, Dwight, am I anywhere close to the button that could be pressed to cut somebody off?
Let's not go down that road. All right,
I'm just saying, I'm not, right? So, because I have no authority to do any such thing.
Okay, let me just say, we don't have to reiterate that. But the point is, no, folks, that's not going to happen. But we will call you out if you're talking complete nonsense. We will call you out if you're talking complete
nonsense. Also, I'm just asking for people to think about what they are saying before they say it. Don't just speak out of fear and your personal fear and anxiety. You can't speak from that when you have a certain level of gravitas to your name. If people respect you on this road, everything that you say, even though you might just be talking aloud or figuring it out for yourself or whatever, you may not mean anything by it. You're just speaking aloud, or this is how you feel in this moment. But you have to understand your words carry weight.
Okay.
And so you cannot just be spewing things out. That's what I'm saying.
All right. This text here, as we go to the break, this is not to get anywhere in this country because something is very wrong with almost everybody, and probably me too. Yeah, clearly, because I'm thinking that things could change, but I'm very foolish. This person says, if the people didn't want their lights off, they wouldn't move out west. So it is their fault. The only solution is to not move out west. Them complaining about their lights off is proof of stupid decisions. What? What now? Is this? I don't know. I don't think it is. I really don't. Because, so out west is the entire Bahamas? Is that what you mean? Because it's everywhere. We don't have reliable electricity anywhere. So I don't know what you're talking about. I hope that is a joke. But okay. Hey, Stephen Gardner won gold. Take a listen to this new song from Solo. We'll be back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Now Stephen is a real gold medalist. Take that. Stephen ran the race come first. When they saw that, all them out boys. Stephen say y'all can remember this. Now Stephen is a real gold medalist. 2 for 2 off the blocks. Baby, let's go. Say he got a big shake, but the speed no shake can stop. Boy, he's staying focused, cause he know this going on TikTok. One shot. He got to win this because the prayer warriors unlock. Boy, almost there. You can feel the adrenaline. Almost there. All kind of blood pumping. Almost there. Boy, Stephen, you got this. Let's go, Stevie. Almost there. Now he's a gold medalist. Don't forget, what's the lesson? Never lose hope. Never, ever give in. Never. What's the blessing? You can win if you keep on pushing. Real. What's the blessing? Never lose hope because you are a winner within. All right then. What's the lesson? Block all the critics. I learned that from Stephen. Stephen from Mabuco. If you didn't know.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Coronavirus update. I'm Rita Foley with an AP News. Racing for an even larger number of COVID cases in Florida and Texas, already wrestling with the number of new infections. Here's our Tim McGuire.
Texas and Florida are among the states hit the hardest by the latest pandemic surge. And this from KTRK. Houston Chief Medical Officer Dr. David Pearce says the viral load showing up in wastewater raises fears.
Wastewater predicts what we'll see in positivity by about 2 weeks, which predicts what we'll see in hospitalizations by about 2 weeks.
In Miami-Dade County, Mayor Daniela Levine Cava tells WPLG county workers face constant coronavirus tests unless
those who wish to opt out can provide proof of their vaccination status.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis continues to refuse to enforce CDC recommendations that nearly everyone wear masks indoors until vaccination rates increase significantly. I'm Tim McGuire.
And I'm Rita Foley.
We've got your first look at traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. In your real-time traffic so far, we're seeing just a couple of hot spots. Mile Butler Highway just north of Harold Pond. You'll be noticing the heavy traffic in the northbound lanes to Tawny Williams Darling Highway. Glasgow Road northbound as well. The closer you get to JFK Drive, you'll be seeing that traffic in the northbound lane. Blue Hill Road north of Soldier Road, northbound to Independence Drive. And then just pockets at some of the major intersections, building traffic on Carmichael Road westbound to Coral Harbor Road. That's what we're seeing so far. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
There's only one way to have a better morning. How? Start your mornings the best way with our 2 for $6 breakfast sandwiches at Wendy's. For a limited time, choose any 2 of your favorite breakfast sandwiches, including the fresh Strachan sack muffin, honey buttermilk chicken biscuit, double sausage muffin, or the sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. Wash it all down with our cold brew shake or coffee. Better mornings always start at Wendy's. Wendy's, different inside and out. Excludes airport locations.
Enjoy an elevated mobile experience with BTC giving you
unlimited talk for the best conversation for all your online fun.
And unlimited roaming to stay connected while overseas.
For just $50 per line.
Unlock unlimited mobile talk, data, and roaming when you sign up for BTC Superfast Fiber Internet with speed starting at 100 megabits per second. Enjoy more great savings and value. Upgrade or sign up today. Visit any BTC store or btcbahamas.com. Conditions apply.
Be prepared for the rainy season with an RBC loan to fund your rainy season essentials. For hurricane shutters, generators, solar power systems, or general home repair, RBC offers a range of flexible and competitive financing solutions. Let us help you get started at rbc.com/Caribbean/get-a-loan. Special conditions apply. Reimagine your rainy season readiness with RBC financing.
Shop early for Janae's Mix and Match specials. Get all your school uniforms, neckties, socks, shorts, character towels, raincoats, umbrellas, colorful backpacks, underclothes, and tights. Mix and match 4 school shirts, pre-monogrammed or regular, and get 1 free. Yes, free. Mix and match 2 pants and get the 3rd one 50% off. Janae's COVID-19 customer recovery assistance. Relaxed restrictions allowing mix and match. WhatsApp 817-3295 or go online at www.janaes.com.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Breaking rocks in a hot sun. I fought for law and a law won. I fought for law and a law won. I needed money 'cause I had none. I fought for law and a
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Stephen Hanna on this Friday morning. We're changing gears right now. We'll get back to what else is in the news a little bit later in the show. But the conference 2021 is just a few weeks away and going to be right here in the Bahamas. To tell us all about this, we're very pleased to welcome the president of the Commonwealth Lawyers Association, Brian Spears, and the president of the Bahamas Bar Association, Khalil Parker. Gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to the show. Khalil Parker, welcome back.
Good morning. Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Stephen. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Khalil.
All right. So this is exciting stuff, but for those who might not be familiar, tell us about the Commonwealth Lawyers Association.
Well, I guess I can do that. We are, as the name suggests, the Association of Lawyers in Practice across the Commonwealth, 54 nations, about a third of the globe's population, and the practicing lawyers have their Commonwealth Law Association. We like to think we represent the rule of law. We call out issues like independence of the legal profession, independence of the judiciary, human rights, challenges for lawyers and clients. And we also have a conference more or less every couple of years. The last one was in Livingstone, Zambia, where I was elected president. I'm delighted to announce that the conference would next take place in Nassau. Of course, Dwight, much has happened since April 2019.
Yes, indeed.
But we made it to the Bahamas, and we are coming next month, 5th of September. We should have several hundred lawyers, those that are able to travel, attending for a conference on sustainable justice, the role of the lawyer.
Wow. Okay. We want to talk about the conference in a bit. Of course, as you said, it's happening against the backdrop of something unbelievable in the world. But that's been an issue throughout the Commonwealth and the world over the past year and a half of people's rights. And it's been a big issue, and people have been calling for the lawyers to take a closer look at what's been happening, because people do believe that with lockdowns and curfews and all these restrictions that their rights are being trampled on. What is your position? We want to hear from both of you on that. On this, where we are people's rights being violated by what many are questioning whether this really will do anything from the from COVID itself?
Khalil, can I kick off with a couple of comments?
Feel free, Brian.
Thank you. I was listening to some of your earlier contributors about vaccination, about misinformation, about the need to respect individual rights. And that's all very important and true, and individual rights are highly important. But we, of course, don't live, no man is an island, so to speak. Mm-hmm. We live in a community, in society, and we all have to play our part to assist. And where information is accurate, is trustworthy, we have found in other Commonwealth jurisdictions, and certainly in the Northern Ireland, where I'm speaking from as part of the UK, that response to advice and perhaps controversially in some jurisdictions, uptake of the vaccine where it's available has been helpful in controlling the emergency applied measures of restrictions on individual liberties. So it's quite a complicated balance of an individual response to a societal need, and not every jurisdiction in the Commonwealth has had access to vaccines, have the same health care that some jurisdictions enjoy, and of course not every Commonwealth jurisdiction has adopted the same approach. There's a world of difference between, for example, the UK and Australia and New Zealand, and in other countries there, in very underdeveloped nations like in Bangladesh at present. So it is interesting to really tune into what is the situation in the Bahamas, and maybe Khalil, you can share some thoughts more locally.
Yeah.
Well, the diversity of opinion with respect to how the country has responded to COVID-19 did not escape the bar. There's, in fact, diversity of opinion at the bar, but with the onset of the pandemic, I think that it was universally accepted that we were in unprecedented times and we were dealing with a public health emergency that warranted circumspection. And I think that regionally, the bars took the position that we wanted to make sure that the public health issues were addressed. That was largely done through emergency orders and other activities and other actions on the part of the government to curb or to circumscribe what would have ordinary movement and activities of the citizens. The question becomes, as we acclimatize to the COVID reality, how do we balance public health and the individual liberty and the opening of the economy? To my mind, as I have advocated, it is important that the ordinary levers of government be attuned to deal with public health shocks and events. It is not, to me, ideal or appropriate for the country to be continuously in a state of emergency. It is very important that this not last a second longer than it should, but likewise, it is also important that people recognize that as we are living communally, what happens to one affects the other. And it is not all about what you feel. It is very important that we do things that protect the collective.
Wow.
So in dealing with delicate balancing act.
It truly is. It truly is. We need to break for news, but we have so many more questions. We're going to talk more about other issues facing the conference and lawyers in general in the Commonwealth. And we're going to pick that up after the news. So stay with us, please. And this is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We'll be back.
Breaking rocks in a hot sun. I fought for law and the law won. I fought for law and the law won. I needed money 'cause I had none. I fought for law and the law won. I fought for law and the law won. I left my baby and it feels so bad. I guess my race is run. She's the best girl that I ever had. I fought for law.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
It's Friday, August 6th, 2021, and you're listening to the Guardian News Network Morning Report. Hello, everyone. I'm Charlene Ferguson. Thanks for tuning in. Topping the news. 3 more COVID-related deaths have now been confirmed in the first 3 days of this month. 2 of them are female residents of Eleuthera, a 59-year-old who died August 2nd and a 79-year-old who died August 3rd. A 62-year-old woman from New Providence also died that day. Total COVID deaths now number 295, with 33 more deaths under investigation. There were 67 new COVID infections Wednesday, and 109 people are being treated for the virus in hospital, 11 in intensive care. The grim COVID numbers, though, are apparently helping to change some minds about the COVID vaccine. When the vaccination site at Loyola Hall reopened for business yesterday, hundreds of persons showed up for their dose, and as Jasmine Brown reports, appointments are being filled quickly.
COVID-19 vaccine National Consultative Committee member Barry Rassin says while it may not have appeared much was going on outside, inside the center was a much different story.
Every chair is taken, and the only reason you might have some people outside is because all the chairs are taken.
Rassin says with cases climbing, the demand is increasing as vaccination appointments were being filled quickly.
It's outstanding. As soon as we put appointments online, they're gone.
He adds that once additional centers open on Monday, officials can administer up to 150 vaccinations a day. In recent weeks, all but 2 vaccination sites, one on Grand Bahama and one here on New Providence, were shut down as supplies dwindled. That all changed on Tuesday when the long-awaited third tranche of 33,600 AstraZeneca vaccines arrived in country. It was welcomed news for many of the people we spoke to at the site, like this husband and wife team, who are also parents of 4.
Earlier this year, I was tested positive for COVID. So being tested positive, it gave me a new light to safeguard myself in the future and my family, and especially working around persons in the community, said, hey, you have the vaccine, so take it.
But both of us being on the front line, when one of us goes down, both of us we have to shut the whole family down. So that subtracted a lot from our work area, and we work on the front line, so we have to protect our families.
Others insisted they wanted to be safe rather than sorry at a time when COVID cases are spiking.
Because this thing getting serious right here. You know what I mean? That's getting serious for sure. So, because some of my neighbors right now, when I told them, the Grammy, the baby, everybody got it. You know what I mean? Then next door, another woman, I mean, it's just get out of control.
And then one of the main things I notice now with a lot of the young people going out having a lot of fun is that it appears that they are the rats taking the poison home to the innocent people, and then they go hug the Grammy or their mommy, they haven't seen them all day, and when you look, they follow in the hospital and the numbers going up. And
a lot of people are dying, some people close to me, so I'm definitely encouraging people to get the vaccine.
Reporting for Guardian News Network, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Vaccinations also resumed on Grand Bahama. Bethany McDermott has that.
Amid another surge in COVID-19 cases, Grand Bahamians trickled into the Susan J. Wallace Day looking to get vaccinated. Marquita Wims got her first dose today. She said she's lost family to COVID-19. It gave her the push she needed to get the jab.
Yes, I have. I've seen it. I had a few family members that actually died, most recently an uncle living in Fort Lauderdale. And we all know that Florida has some of the best medical facilities in our region, and they were unable to save him. So, I believe in as much as possible, you should try to get out and do what you can to prevent this disease from spreading.
Chief Medical Officer Dr. Pearl McMillan said on Wednesday it is highly likely that the Delta variant is in the Bahamas. These residents told Our News that the possibility that this more highly contagious variant could be circulating is reason enough to get vaccinated.
Yeah, it's concerned me because I understand that it's spreading rapidly. And if it is, and when it do hit the Bahamas, it's going to be a mad rush.
Yeah, well, of course, there's always this mutation, and I guess even with the vaccinated, it's showing, you're at risk, but the risk is not as high, it seems, as those who are not vaccinated at all.
Inspector Gustavus Roker got his second shot Thursday. He said as a police officer, he encounters countless residents not wearing masks.
I do believe that it is something that a person should be concerned about. This is why we are pushing that all Bahamians, no matter where you are, please go out there and get vaccinated so that we can be safe in our Bahama land.
According to Grand Bahama Health Services Administrator Sharon Williams, 150 appointments were made today. She said officials saw an uptick in registration on that island.
As we indicated, we would have opened up for 150. Prior, we were at about 80 per day. So immediately we're having a significant number of registration and walk-in at the same time.
Currently, there's only one location open for vaccinations on Grand Bahama. Williams said as the demand increases, officials will assess if there is a need for additional centers. Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Bethany McDermott.
A man is dead after being struck by a vehicle along West Bay Street last night. Police Superintendent Janet McKenzie said police were called to the scene around 9:15.
A white van was traveling west on West Bay Street and collided with a pedestrian who was traveling south to north on West Bay Street. EMS was summoned. They announced the body lifeless. Investigations are continuing.
McKenzie said police know very little about the victim, including whether or not he is a tourist, but she confirmed he is a Caucasian male who appeared to have been walking by himself at the time of the accident. Meantime, a man remains missing at sea after a fishing trip turned deadly yesterday. Police say he was one of 3 men fishing aboard a boat in waters off New Providence just after 3 p.m. when the engine failed and the boat began taking on water. The men reportedly decided to swim to shore, but only one of them made it. The body of another man washed ashore in the area of Love Estates. Well, Bahamians are weighing in on news the United States could mandate COVID vaccines for travelers entering their country. Jared Higgs reports.
If I want to travel there, you have to just go with their policy. You know, everybody have a rule, so we have to live with everybody's rules.
So Bahamians and residents sounding off on a potential policy.
I think we should do the same thing. It makes sense.
Would you take it to go to the States if it was mandatory?
If it's mandatory, yeah, but different from that, no, I wouldn't.
The Biden administration is developing a plan to require nearly all foreign visitors to the United States to be fully vaccinated against COVID-19 as part of eventually lifting all travel restrictions that prevent much of the world from entering the United States. White House officials want to reopen travel to boost airline business and tourism, but rising numbers in many countries and the Delta variant are causing them to be cautious.
I think it's a strong statement. And we have to follow through.
What would a mandatory vaccination policy mean for Bahamians? Likely exactly what it sounds like. And with many still opposed to the vaccine, that could become a problem for some who enjoy traveling.
It's almost as if they're stuffing it down our throats.
This educator doesn't want us to show her face. She's against the vaccine for lots of reasons and has decided that traveling isn't worth it.
I've made up in my mind. I don't need to go to the U.S.
So you don't see yourself going to the U.S. then if that's the requirement?
No.
That's not gonna persuade you?
No.
This 21-year-old hotel worker is also unvaccinated, but he says he's ready to take the shot, although he doesn't think it's fair for it to be mandatory.
I feel like they should still give people a choice, but let them take the COVID test as sorted.
But Del Rio Cooper is noticing a trend among the people suffering the most from COVID.
But then again, if they make it mandatory, I see people passing away who haven't taken the vaccine from COVID, so maybe it would be in our best option to take the vaccine.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Jared Higgs.
Stay with us, there's more news after the break.
Summer is here, and Shell presents a summer of fun. Win $30,000 in prizes when you spend $20 in fuel at any Shell location, now through September 10th. Experience incredible hotel stays in the thousands of dollars in fuel, groceries, and electronic devices. Fuel up today and submit your receipts by WhatsApp, email, and Facebook. Follow us on Facebook for more chances to win with Shell. Terms and conditions apply.
At Apex Award Signs and Engraving, the name says it all. The country's trusted name for trophies, plaques, corporate seals, rubber stamps, badges, bumper stickers, traffic and street signs, keychains, t-shirts, interior signs, restaurant menus, and so much more. Apex Award Signs and Engraving, number 128 Mount Royal Avenue in Wilton Street. Open 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and 9 to 1 on Saturdays. Visit the website at apexawardsbahamas.com. Apex Award Signs and Engraving, number 1 in the Bahamas.
Enjoy an elevated mobile experience with BTC, giving you
unlimited talk for the best conversations, unlimited data for all your online fun,
and unlimited roaming to stay connected while overseas.
For just $50 per line.
Unlock unlimited mobile talk, data, and roaming when you sign up for BTC Superfast Fiber Internet with speed starting at 100 megabits per second. Enjoy more great savings and value. Upgrade or sign up today. Visit any BTC store or btcbahamas.com. Conditions apply.
I've been up by Pender the other day, and Pender said, Lampkin, you know what quartz is and waiters use it? I said, everybody know it's a watch. You just tell time with it. I don't mean that kind of quartz. Anyhow, quartz is a stone like granite. I said, oh, you can make a watch from granite too? And they said, Lampkin, no, just because they make diamond from coal, don't mean you can make diamond from heat. No, quartz is a stone that you could use to make countertop like granite. And I have a selection of academic proportions. Look down there, all that is quartz. I say, mud dough. If you're short-sighted, you'll never see the end. Stop by Pender to see all the quartz.
It's a perfect day to enjoy the wonderful specials at Super Value and quality supermarkets. Rainbow spaghetti and meatballs, 15 ounce, 99 cents. Rainbow tuna, 5 ounce, 6. Super Value purified or alkaline water, 5-gallon size, $4.99. Chicken leg quarters, 10-pound bag, 99 cents per pound. Green cabbages, 79 cents per pound. Working hard every day to keep your prices down. That's Super Value and quality supermarkets.
Peter the peanut peddler bust up in sunrise that day and start hollering, "Airy nuts! Airy nuts!" So Bullock say, when your nuts that airy, just need one injection in your midsection and that over. Peter say, "Rank!" Today I got dark brown, light brown, light brown, and white. See him here. Bella, as usual, Miss Wallace only did hear the last part of our conversation and get confused right up. She say, "We don't do no colorization and no nuts here. This a watch shop. Carry that freshness someplace else." And now Peter the peanut peddler, he in charge of peanut peddling for the whole of Montrose Avenue.
Sun Isles Watch and Clock, number 112 Montrose Avenue. Watch and clock sales and repairs, and sometimes peanuts too.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Welcome back. Following a 3-year wait, 167 correctional officers received promotions yesterday. Jared Higgs reports.
57 training correctional officers are now full correctional officers, and 110 correctional officers are corporals after a promotional exercise that came after years of waiting. Minister of National Security Marvin Dames was criticized for the late promotions, but he says the problems couldn't be fixed overnight.
Kind of came off as if it was Minister Dames's problem. But you heard what I said. 2014, 2015, 2016. So we're speaking to a systemic problem.
Correctional officers protested in front of the Bahamas Department of Corrections and at the Ministry of National Security back in March. More than 100 strong, they chanted and demanded equal treatment to their counterparts in law enforcement, who they say get regular promotional exercises. A music video was also used to get their message out. According to Dames, he received it.
You are first, the human resource in the police, the defense force, corrections, parliamentary registration, and all of these agencies. We want to focus first on the people. Because we recognize if the people are happy, then the work will get done.
President of the Correctional Officers Staff Association, Corporal Hervey Culmer, described it as a good day for correctional officers. Speaking to Our News over the phone, he says the fight they put up played a role in their success.
It may appear that, it's a current exercise. This is an exercise retroactive 2018. So it was a long fight. It's not over, but it's almost there.
An outstanding matter remains. 50 corporals who are up for promotion to sergeant. A presentation explaining a change in policy that will allow those officers to qualify for those promotions appeared well received. Culmer says there was a deeper purpose to their demands than financial gain.
Money is always welcome, but that was not the main focus of our demonstration and why we wanted our promotional exercise. We wanted our promotional exercise because everybody else got theirs during the pandemic. We just wanted that parity and that fairness to boost the morale.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I am Jared Higgs.
News, stay with us. AP News is next.
Your big day coming, what you want?
I know, but you all seem too far behind, eh? Anyhow, I want you to give me washing machine.
Washing machine? What you want washing machine for?
Well, since Junior working on the island now and 3 people got to use your car, I figure we could wash right here.
You got line, eh?
Not yet.
And if you wash here, what we can talk about?
That's true.
If you wash here, how we can catch capsaicin?
That's true, eh?
And if you ain't got no line, how we post to dry if you wash here?
That's true.
Okay, so what you want Junior to get you again?
$1,600 worth of tokens. That's how much the washing machine costs.
Now you're talking, and I'll reserve the car for every Saturday.
Gone for that. So what you want for your big day?
Half of them token.
My lord.
Summer wash. We washes you, cleans you, presses you 24/7.
When does a simple meal become exceptional? You guessed it, when it's made the fresh market way. We're talking exquisite cuts of fresh meat, succulent fresh seafood options, the best in fresh produce, and who can forget our exotic spices and herbs? Come on, get ready to shake up your taste buds and let our aisles inspire your inner food genius. Homemade salted caramel ice cream, egg noodle stir fry, time to walk and roll. Slow smoked beef ribs, oh baby! Remember, go fresh and craft delicious with Fresh Market.
Everything is changing, and your favorite hardware and home improvement store is getting with the program. We Buy You Sell is rolling out its new online shopping feature. If you go to our website, wbusbahamas.com, it's a quick and easy 3-step process. Step 1, browse the gallery and select your item. Step 2, add to cart. And Step 3, check out. Go to our website, wbahamas.com, to shop with us today.
Introducing the new Slices and Sticks from Little Caesars, an unexpected combination. 4 slices of pepperoni pizza, 8 Italian cheese sticks, and 1 crazy sauce, only for $9. Didn't expect that one, right? Grab the new Slices and Sticks at Little Caesars Oaksfield, Carmichael Road, or East Street South in the Pineapple Plaza. That's 4 slices of pepperoni pizza, 8 Italian cheese sticks, and 1 crazy sauce, all for only $9, and only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
At Master Technicians, we have what your family traditions need, starting with industry-best refrigerators, ranges, and ovens. We also carry Whirlpool washer and dryers, dishwashers and freezers, leading KitchenAid countertop appliances, blenders, microwaves, juicers, kettles, and KitchenAid stand mixers. We even do free delivery in New Providence or to the boat of your choice. Whether you're doing the laundry, creating new memories in the kitchen, or spending family time in front of the television, Master Technicians Limited, keeping family traditions alive for more than 50 years.
When I got prostate cancer, my family didn't know if I was going to live. At Cancer Treatment Centers of America, within days, I got an appointment. They presented me with treatment options, and we set up a robotic prostatectomy. When my scans came back, there are no signs of cancer. They don't see you as a number, they see you as a part of the family. I'm going on with my life. It's a real gift.
Call us at Cancer Treatment Centers of America.
Fast, reliable, and resilient, undeniably the best. The Cable Bahamas Group of Companies. We keep our customers informed and connected, especially in times of crisis. We believe in Bahamians. They build, own, and manage our world-class network. We invest in our people and our network to guarantee superior technology, superior service. We care about our employees, customers, and country. That letting our family keep you connected to yours.
This traffic report is brought to you by Shield Insurance.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 4224796. And now at 8:21, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Here's what's happening. We've got a ridge of high pressure extending from the Atlantic that's going to stretch across the islands, maintaining gentle to moderate east to southeast winds. Meanwhile, a weakening upper-level trough near the area will support a few showers and thunderstorms as well. For today, the forecast for the northwest and central Bahamas, partly sunny and hot with a few scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, becoming mainly fair and warm tonight with an isolated shower or two. For the southeast Bahamas, variably cloudy, warm, and breezy with isolated showers and thunderstorms possible through tonight. There's a risk for water spouts, and beachgoers in the southeast Bahamas should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents. And everybody's being advised to limit outdoor activities and to remain hydrated due to heat indices expected in the triple digits today. Temperatures getting up there at 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius. Again, the heat index in the triple digits. We're looking at lows tonight getting down to 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. In your extended outlook, surface high pressure will persist across the area through the weekend while maintaining gentle to moderate winds across the islands. So for tomorrow, Saturday, we're looking at partly sunny and hot conditions with isolated afternoon showers and thunderstorms, becoming warm with a passing shower or two possible. Sunday, partly sunny and hot with isolated afternoon showers and thunderstorms again, becoming warm and humid at night with a passing shower or two possible. In the tropics, we're watching a couple of areas. We've got an area of disorganized showers located a few hundred miles southeast of the Cabo Verde Islands, associated with a tropical wave. Environmental conditions appear somewhat conducive for gradual development, and a tropical depression is likely to form over the weekend or early next week. Formation chance right now is about 70% through the next 5 days. And then there's a tropical wave over the central tropical Atlantic that continues to produce some disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Slow development is possible early next week, and formation chance is about 20% through the next 5 days. Elsewhere, tropical cyclone formation unexpected during the next 5 days. That's your Morning Blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. What's first for you comes first for us. And in traffic, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, we've got some heavy traffic on Milo Butler Highway, just north of Harold Pond. You'll notice that in the northbound lanes to Tawny Williams Darling Highway. Gladstone Road also busy for you, northbound as you get closer to JFK Drive. Blue Hill Road northbound still busy, north of Soldier Road as you approach the roundabout with Independence Drive. Independence Drive a little backed up as well, westbound to that roundabout. And at near that junction with Carmichael Road, you'll be seeing some traffic there on Blue Hill Road. Westbound on Carmichael, pockets as you head out to Coral Harbor Road. But so far, not looking so bad, just at some of the major intersections like East-West Highway and Robinson Road, Marathon Road, and along Prince Charles Robinson Road, you will be seeing just moderate congestion at the traffic lights. That's about it so far. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAO, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAO, growing wealth for future generations.
I needed money, called
And we are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Stephen Hanna. We are talking about the Commonwealth Lawyers Association and the Bahamas Bar Association and the Commonwealth Law Conference that's coming up in a few weeks in September. We're speaking with Commonwealth Lawyers Association President Brian Spears and Bahamas Bar Association President Khalil Parker. All right, so we talked about the pandemic, but what other issues are facing lawyers in the Commonwealth right now? In the get to the conference and getting details about that. What other issues are you concerned about?
Well, we're concerned about the administration of justice. You know, we are working closely with the Office of the Chief Justice to get court times down, to get judgment times down, to improve service delivery for the public on all levels. We have special attention on the magistrates court. That's the court that most Bahamians or most people interact with, trying to improve the service quality. For practitioners, we're dealing with the relationships between attorneys and the banks and making sure that there's fair access to legal work and making sure that the members of the public are able to enjoy their right to choose the lawyers of their, to have the lawyers of their choice. That's a pressing issue for us. We are also working to see that the Freedom of Information Act is fully implemented. We are working closely with the government. They are putting together a steering committee to make that a reality. But we also want to get back to providing more robust legal aid. COVID-19 had locked us down. So the two of our big set piece legal aid clinics weren't able to be done. You know, ideally, we've had some web-based and Zoom-based legal aid clinics, but there's something special about getting FaceTime with an attorney and hearing from members of the public that is you can't forego. So hopefully we're able to get to that. And we're also watching the ongoing debate about the vaccination drive and the return to school, the return to work, and how we navigate those waters. We, again, there is transparency and engagement, which there has been to date, on the legislative measures that the government may be taking to address those concerns.
Khalil, I'm glad that you mentioned it. Mike, I have a question specifically. How do we, you talk about improving legal aid, right? How do we get to that point where the average Bahamian citizen knows what to do in certain circumstances, knows how to get access to a lawyer, or has access to a lawyer? Because I mean, like, yesterday I wanted to sue like 3 different people, but I realized I didn't have that capability because I didn't know any lawyers offhand. But how do we get to the point where it's like, it's not only when we are in a problem or in a rut that we could.
Well, I think that's a good point. One of the things that the Bar Association would like to do is to encourage people to have a trusted attorney as a part of their toolkit. You have a doctor, you have your insurance person, you have your mechanic, you have all of these service providers. It is important that you take the time, shop around, and find somebody who you feel is comfortable to say, well, if something happens, I know who I'm going to call. Now, that's a personal choice. That is something for somebody with the economic liberty to shop around.
Right.
One of the things that I am passionate about and that we are pressing is more robust, particularly civil legal aid. I think everybody is somewhat familiar with Crown briefs or public defenders, where the government defends people who can't afford, where the government affords lawyers for accused.
Right.
Pardon?
You accused for what comes to represent you.
Yes. It is in the world that we live, the harm that you can suffer in a civil case, be it bank reclamation, be it neighbor disputes, landlord tenant, there are lots of areas of vulnerability where people would need support. And it is important that we improve and provide a more robust availability of legal support. I mean, I applaud the legal aid clinic at the Eugene DePuy Law School, which does do what it can in the teaching legal aid clinic, but it needs to have some more support, and there needs to be we can put it out there that this exists. It may be means tested. It may be a situation where you have to demonstrate an economic need. That is fair enough, but it's unfair to suggest that people can just go it alone in the modern world without legal support if they can't afford it.
Brian, I suspect some of the issues Khalil brought up are not unique to the Bahamas. We're seeing these throughout the Commonwealth, I'm pretty sure.
You're quite right. They're not unique. Just different countries have different systems of legal aid. Legal aid can sometimes be categorized as support for lawyers, but it's not. It's support for the people who very much need assistance in the way that Khalil has described, not just in criminal matters, but in the civil matters where they can be exposed to loss of home or awards of damages. So I've listened very carefully to what Khalil says. In my experience, he always speaks well and wisely about the role of lawyers, and that has been evident again this morning. So I'm hoping that we will have plenty of the excellent Bahamas lawyers attend our conference, because it has themes that Khalil mentioned and many more to deal with our sustainable justice theme. Because to be sustainable, justice needs to be accessible and affordable, and those dispensing justice need to be independently appointed and not corrupt, and the representatives need to be aware of their need to both be officers of the court, but also representing their clients fearlessly and without intimidation or threat from the authorities. Now, in the Bahamas, I know that there is respect for rule of law and for the judiciary and the quality of the legal profession, but that is not the same, sadly, in so many countries. And recently, the CLA has issued statements in support of individual lawyers, and all with a view to sustaining justice in a way, as I say, that is respected by the people and is dispensed by those who are properly appointed and are not grace and favor appointments of the government of the day. Might I mention, Dwight, something just on what Khalil mentioned before the news break about emergency powers? This is a really important topic because many autocratic regimes have hidden behind the excuse of emergency to introduce measures and to get used to the idea of having their proposals not scrutinized by Parliament and not challenged in the courts. And really that is the route to dictatorship and autocratic regimes where dissent is not permitted. And we really must quickly return in all countries across the Commonwealth to where the government's decision-making is scrutinized, the politicians are held to account, and the judges can be asked to adjudicate on matters of challenge. We've seen that in the UK with the Supreme Court decision on Boris Johnson's attempts to prorogue Parliament in a way that really was unconstitutional. And so no country escapes it, even the so-called mother of parliaments. And that emergency legislation features in our conference program. Indeed, we have a keynote session on the effect of emergency powers or emergency measures on the separation of powers. I can say a bit more, if you like, Dwight, on sustainability and climate change and the right to a protected planet, and whether or not the citizen enjoys the right to an environment free from pollution. And those matters will also be explored by really eminent keynote speakers coming in next month.
I would like you to. I would. And we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we want you to do that and tell us more about the conference. We are talking with Brian Spears with the Commonwealth Lawyers Association and Khalil Parker with the Bahamas Bar Association. We'll be right back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
The law won. I fought the law and the law won. elevated mobile experience with BTC giving you
unlimited talk for the best conversations, unlimited data for all your online fun,
and unlimited roaming to stay connected while overseas.
For just $50 per line.
Unlock unlimited mobile talk, data, and roaming when you sign up for BTC Superfast Fiber Internet with speed starting at 100 megabits per second. Enjoy more great savings and value. Upgrade or sign up today. Visit any BTC store or btcbahamas.com. Conditions apply.
Be prepared for the rainy season with an RBC loan to fund your rainy season essentials. For hurricane shutters, generators, solar power systems, or general home repair, RBC offers a range of flexible and competitive financing solutions. Let us help you get started at rbc.com/Caribbean/get-a-loan. Special conditions apply. Reimagine your rainy season readiness with RBC financing.
Shop early for Janae's Mix and Match specials. Get all your school uniforms, neckties, socks, shorts, character towels, raincoats, umbrellas, colorful backpacks, underclothes, and tights. Mix and match 4 school shirts, free monogrammed or regular, and get 1 free. Yes, and match 2 skirts, jumpers, or pants, and get the third one 50% off. Janae's COVID-19 Customer Recovery Assistance. Relaxed restrictions, allowing mix and match. WhatsApp 817-3295 or go online at www.janaes.com.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with Stephen Hanna. Brian Spears with the Commonwealth Lawyers Association. Khalil Parker with the Bahamas Bar Association. Please, gentlemen, indulge us for just a couple minutes because we just had the women's finals, the 400 meters. And Bahamas, she did it. Gold medal for Shauna Miller-Weibo. No diving this time. This is clear. She won that. Oh, man, that was amazing. 48.36 seconds. Shauna Miller wins gold. So the Bahamas gold in both the men's 400 meters and the women's 400 meters. Shauna Miller-Weibo repeating, and that's so rare, as the gold medalist in 400 meters. Stephen, you got a chance to see it?
No.
Okay. All right. Wow. Amazing stuff. We'll get back to that in a bit, but congratulations to Shauna, and very, very exciting gold medal. 2 golds for Team Bahamas at these Olympics. So I think that means, right, we won the Olympics. Yes, it is. All right. Just had to say that, folks. Thank you again, Brian and Khalil. All right. So, yes, tell us more, Brian, about what else we can expect at the conference and who should be here and how this is all going to work with COVID. What's going to be different about the conference, the Commonwealth Law Conference this year?
Well, I've mentioned the theme, sustainable justice, and I commented a little on what that means in terms of the operation of the justice system, but it's also going to feature interesting discussions on sustainability in a climate change and environmental sense. We have a really wonderful young lawyers program where the guest speaker is a young lady from the Seychelles who is very much a world thought leader on climate change, a lawyer and concerned about her own particular island state. And we're looking forward to Angelique Poppanou to attend and speak to us. But we also have discussions from Chief Justices, for example, from Papua New Guinea, attending the opening session on climate change as a right, along with a retired Supreme Court judge in the UK. And that will also be addressed by the Secretary General of the Commonwealth. So we've got a stream interested for those with environmental issues at heart, and what can the law do to support those. We've also got plenty of practitioner interest in terms of insurance, of the corporate social responsibility. And the Commonwealth Secretariat is going to launch their paper on corruption and transparency in public life. As you will know, corruption is a tremendous scourge in many countries, where public funds are diverted into private hands, often through procurement contracts that are opaque, and lawyers have a role to play in demanding monitoring and auditing of contracts and holding those who breach the rules to account. So the role of the lawyer as guardian of the public interest is very much part of the theme of the Commonwealth Lawyers Association. And indeed, Khalil, I think you are rostered to chair a discussion on sustainability of democracy given the rise of autocracy. And hopefully you've done your homework to prepare for that role.
Yeah, they'll have to come to the conference and see.
All right. So tell us, how many days is it? How's it going to be? How's it going to work? What are the details?
Yeah, well, it's the 5th to the 9th of September. We're really hoping that there will be a great turnout of the talented Bahamian lawyers and from the wider Caribbean. We know that we've got representatives from many Caribbean jurisdictions, including attorneys general and chief justices. And we know there's tremendous support from the judiciary in the Bahamas, who will be participating and speaking. So it starts on the 5th of September, it goes to the 9th. We have an opening ceremony, a closing ceremony. We've got, we hope, the police band to attend. But you were right, Dwight, this is difficult in a pandemic.
Yes.
And we are needing to make sure that all the delegates are safe to enter the Bahamas, that we comply with the protocols of the Bahamar Resort, with whom we have worked enormously closely. We're in touch with government officials to make sure that entry visas are also matched to medical safety entry requirements. And there may not be informal moving around as we would have liked. And I know that the conference venue will be introducing some spacing that is abnormal, given conferences are normally theatre style seating and colleagues sitting beside each other. But we're prepared for that. And we think that the in-person event that we promised in Livingston in April 2019 is now coming to pass. Despite all, we will have several hundred lawyers in attendance, carefully monitored, contributing, we hope, something of their holiday spend in your beautiful country. And we will overcome the inhibitions that the health and safety message requires. We are limiting the number of contributors who will contribute virtually, but one or two speakers are so important to hear from and are in jurisdictions that they simply cannot leave, such as Australia and New Zealand and some of the Asian countries. And we want to hear their voice. So there will be some slots for virtual contributions, but most of all, it will be in person, a conference, meeting old friends, making new, and sharing best practice and experience from multiple Commonwealth jurisdictions. And we hope that Khalil will lead the charge and get his colleagues and the local legal fraternity to mingle with this international audience.
Picking up from there, it is a good point to note that the Bahamas Bar Association has secured a rate for Bahamian Bar Association members, and I presume it will be applicable to the Bahamian members of the public who may wish to attend. We will be circulating notice of donation to members today, and it will also be published on the Bahamas Bar Association website, the bahamasbarassociation.com.
Oh, so the public can attend? Members of the public can attend? Okay.
Brian can say more on that, but the conference is not exclusive to attorneys.
Okay.
The Commonwealth Law Conference is open to people interested in the areas of sustainability and the law in general.
Yeah, I think even journalists might be interested. Dwight,
okay.
You could do a piece from the conference and pick your topic. There are certainly things that I believe are relevant to the situation that I've been hearing discussed on your program already. And indeed, it might help just the wider debate to have people take an interest and challenge the legal positions that are being expressed. But as Khalil has said, there's a range of views in individual law firms, in individual bar councils, between lawyers and other non-lawyers. We're just open-minded, but at heart, we support the rule of law, the principles of separation of powers from government, parliament, and the judiciary. And we really are strong supporters of an independent, respected, well-trained legal profession that I'm sure resonates with Khalil, because that is required to provide relevant advice to those in need, transactional advice to businesses to help the economy, and to hold those that need to be held to account, properly to account, with legal checks and balances in place. So I think there's something for every lawyer. There are going to be some day rates available, or your firm can buy a case to send different lawyers from the office. And as Khalil has said, with great assistance from the Bahamas Bar, they have secured a rate for their members to attend. And we very much look forward to meeting them in a month's time.
All right, sounds wonderful. Definitely keep us posted. Khalil, you know exactly where to find us, and maybe we'll take you up on it. Maybe, who knows, maybe we can even do a show out there or something. But this is exciting stuff, and we're looking forward to meeting all of you. Brian Spears with the Commonwealth Lawyers Association, thank you so much for talking with us. And Khalil Parker with the Bahamas Bar Association, always a pleasure. And again, good luck with the conference, the Commonwealth Law Conference, September 5th through 9th, right here in the Bahamas. All right, we're going to take a break and be back with more Morning Blend. Stay with us.
Switching your mortgage to CIBC First Caribbean is easy, affordable, and convenient. We'll help with your switching cost, give you 3 months payment free, and waive your commitment fees so you can enjoy the break you need. Plus, you'll get up to 95% financing and a pre-approved Visa Gold or Platinum credit card with 5,000 bonus reward points and more. Switch your home base to CIBC First Caribbean. Terms and conditions apply. Visit CIBCFCIB.com for more information.
Stay a step ahead of technology with Certainty and Know-How Team is here to help you zero in on your next big tech purchase. Finding solutions that take your productivity to the next level using only the best and most reliable brands. With stores in Palmdale, West Bay and Old Fort Bay, and free delivery to businesses, there's no stopping you from stepping up your tech. Reach out to us at 396-1100. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Say we did it. Yes, we did it. We were put to the test, so we brought out our best. Man, we did it. Yes, we did it. Bahamas, we won the gold. Now we're the best in the world. You think it's a bird? No. Is it a plane? No. Who that? Bahamas, Golden Boys, man.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9 on the celebratory morning. This is really something else, Stephen. Got Solo and all the Bahamian songwriters out there. You need to get cracking. We got a lot of music to be baking here. I'm just so very, very excited and happy for Sean Emil Weibo and all those critics, all the people who had a lot to say about the dive at the last Olympics. Convincing this time. Big lead. Being told it's a personal best time. 6th fastest time ever. From our sports reporters, they're telling us that. And it is very clear that the Bahamas is the 400-meter capital of the world. Let's get your reaction to all of it, folks. Give us a call. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. They're saying, how many times has someone repeated as the 400-meter? That hasn't, right? That's very rare that you could come back 4 years, 5 years later now and win it again. And this is amazing stuff there. So let's hear from you. 323-6232. 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 42247. Oh, boy. This text here. Hey, you can always catch it again. Catch the show again later if you're busy watching the race. Catch the show later. It was very important what was said earlier.
And the race happened during the commercial break, so
well, they could have done that, right? Yeah, that's what I did. But yeah, so it was timed perfectly, just so you could do that. And but hey, all right. So let's hear what folks are saying. This is very good. I know people were worried after the 2, what happened there, and some other disappointments with the relay. We still wonder what that was all about. But here we go. You know, she had to preserve herself for this race. Her signature, and man, it's the pink here this time. The pink did it. Is that what it was? All right. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, this is Strachan, voice along with you and Steve.
Yes, Stephen. That's right. Yep. Hi. Good morning.
Okay, Dwight. You know, Stephen Gardner, right?
Yes.
That's his name, right?
It is his name. Yes.
Several years ago, I think one of his trainer was a lady. And he disappreciated how she was handling him by calling him children, right? She used it in a plural sense, but he was one of those in which she called children. In other words, she disapproved of how they were carrying on, right? But what I called and said that they're supposed to respect him because what he's doing is a man, you know, he acting as a man, and I want to bring that to back to those people who disapprove of the way he was carrying on. He just was exercising his prerogative as a young man.
I don't know what's happening. Are you winning the 400-meter race? What are we talking about?
This is one of those roads, Dwight.
No, what I was saying is, right?
Yes.
Within his training, right?
Uh-huh.
The lady would have him to do it, one of his trainers, one of the ladies here in Nassau, in the Bahamas.
Okay.
She was disapproved in the way he was carrying on. Okay? And she called him, basically what she was saying, that he is a child, he should listen.
Yep. All right. But he was just getting ready for greatness.
What I am saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was operating, he had the prerogative to operate the way he wants to operate because he was a young man coming up to be where he is today.
Absolutely, yes. And look where he is now. It's amazing. It's amazing. Okay, so again, Colin, let's hear your views on Shawnee Miller-Weibo, the gold, double gold. Stephen, did you ever expect it? Yes, some of us really did.
Yep.
323-6232.
I'm one of those people who believe in the inside the artists and the athletes, you know, before they get goal and stuff. I'm glad that everybody could join us, you know, now that they've won. But I need you guys to keep the same energy all the time, and not do what Bahamians like to do when half of them was ready to turn on Shawnee after the 200. And the other half had to be like, get yourself. And then the same way where everybody loves Shawnee, everybody love Stephen Gardner now, you know, that they performed so well and they brought home gold. Let's not turn our back on the 400 team. You know, like that. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to take any light away from the greatness that just happened. I'm just saying you gotta love everybody on their come up on their journey. You cannot just be, I only love you if you bring me home a goal. Because that, you know what happens when it happens? They get the goal and then they go home to Europe or they go home to America because they realize that they're not actually appreciated in this country. We only like things. So, congratulations, athletes. I want our Bahamian people to love all of you.
Yes, sure. Well,
that bit of rain on your parade is brought
I don't know if that's necessary, but thank you, Stephen.
No, it's
but you're right. Those two
because
don't.
Had she gotten silver, it would have been some mooning and groaning. Had something happened to her, she actually damaged her leg, her hamstring pull or something, and she had not finished this race.
Oh my!
It would have
You really make
been a
you're
different set of
killing, you're killing the buzz. You're killing the buzz.
It's important that Bahamians look at themselves truthfully.
Oh dear. Can we do that like tomorrow after we celebrate today?
Because tomorrow they ain't gonna remember. Matter of fact, they ain't gonna remember a year from now.
Wow.
And next Olympics, they wouldn't remember that either.
My goodness.
Every Olympics we get a goal, and then we turn our back on the people who win gold first. Y'all can't even tell me where the men's 4x4 winners are.
That's some can't.
Tell me where they is. Y'all don't know where they is. Because y'all don't check for them. Stop with it. Anyway.
Okay.
God bless Shawnee.
Yes.
Bless Stephen.
Wow. Okay, so some people
the whole Bahamian team.
help lighten this, please. The celebration. Maybe we need some celebratory music. Mr. Producer, we need some celebratory music to lighten the mood as Stephen tries to turn it into a funeral. I don't know. Wow. Oh my gosh, you're that guy. You're that guy. You're that guy, Stephen. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I don't even.
I want us to celebrate, but I want us to celebrate all the time. I want us to rejoice with them all the time. I want us to support them all the time. That's all I'm saying. I'm not suggesting that we do not celebrate. I'm suggesting the opposite. I'm saying that.
Yes. Well, you said it already. Yes. You got it. We don't need it again.
Time.
We heard you. Okay. Caller, I know you're happy. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
How you doing?
Oh, hi.
How y'all doing?
We're doing well.
We good.
Awesome. I am so happy. Everyone know Amos is in heaven right now. Double goal, back to back. I mean, it's amazing. We thank to God be the glory. Yahweh Elohim be the glory for great things He have done. He's showing us that greater is He that is in us than he that is in this world. Because when you analyze, I'm talking from an athletic perspective also. When you analyze the nations that these people consistently competes against, millions, these nations around us has millions of people. China have billion. Africa have 1.3 billion. China have 1.4 billion. My point is, all of our everything supposed to be coming out to show support. Now, everybody don't have transportation. Everybody is not physically well. Those of you who are well, who have transportation, block the road, lock the country down when these people come in, please, because we need to send a message to COVID-19, that disease, to show the disease. We will, safe distance even in the parade, to show after all that they would have went through the COVID-19. You know what it is to have to stay focused during all of that and bring home the goal, and no one can challenge them until the next 4 years. We need to show these people we comprehend what's going on with them.
Thank you very much. Hey, anybody watch the show In Treatment? You all watch that? Did you ever watch that, Stephen? Do you watch the reboot or the old one?
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what? Oh, okay. The show where it's about.
I was born in the 80s.
It's on now, Stephen. But it's every episode. It's a psychologist. It's a new show. The psychologist. It's a session with the patient. I think next week I'm going to have a therapist all week long. Just deal with me. I think that's what's got to happen.
So
Okay.
call us
No more calls. Just me getting therapy on air. I think we'll have a week of that, and then we'll get back on track by the end of August. All right. People who are saying this is not the time for a teachable moment, Stephen. This is the time to celebrate.
It's never a time for a teachable moment. That's why we never learn.
Okay.
Now we are
But I
listening.
mean, you did make an interesting point. The both of these don't live here. Both of our golden athletes.
That's the only way they can make it.
Yeah, that says
Y'all
a
don't
lot.
care about them.
That says a lot about what's happening here, and we probably should be concerned.
If you love them, tell me shut up. That's all.
Okay. Hey, let's break. When we come back, Morning Blend Business. We're going to be talking, and people need to hear this today because if the power is still out in parts of Western New Providence, something is very, very wrong with one of the utility companies, at least. And we're going to be talking to Carlton Smith. Remember that name? He'll be talking with us this morning about what's happening with the utility companies in this country and what IRCA is doing about it. That's up after the break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is the Guardian News Network update on the hour. Hello, everyone. I'm Charlene Ferguson. Shawnee Miller-Weibo smoked the competition in Tokyo this morning, pulling off a gold medal run in the 400 meters. She ran away from the competition, clocking a time of 48.36 seconds. Congratulations to her. That's now this country's second gold in these Olympic Games after Stephen Gardner won gold yesterday. In other news, COVID-related deaths increased by 3 this month, bringing total deaths to 295, with 33 deaths still under investigation. The rising fatalities, infections, and hospitalizations linked to the virus have apparently spurred interest in the COVID vaccine. Member of the National Vaccine Consultative Committee, Baron Rassen, says demand for the shot has been high, with appointments filling up almost as soon as they're available. Government's vaccination drive restarted yesterday, with over 600 persons scheduled to receive their second dose. Well, one local doctor who nearly lost his life to COVID now says he regrets not getting vaccinated. Dr. Tyrone Bartlett told the Nassau Guardian he, his wife, and their 2 sons contracted COVID-19, but that he and his wife became better as a result, requiring 24-hour nursing, intravenous medication, and supplemental oxygen for them to recover. He said he couldn't take a deep breath and believed he was going to die. It's an experience which he said has left him humbled and set right. He's now advising others to get vaccinated. And a traffic accident along West Bay Street last night has left a pedestrian dead. Police say the Caucasian male was struck by a white van while crossing the street. He died at the scene. That's what's making headlines at this hour. Stay with us. AP Update is next.
Boy, why you look so mashed up like clothes at the washer?
No, boy, just a hard day. What?
Hard day? What happened? The breakfast lady ran out of tuna and gritty.
We need to start joking about everything, you know. This serious, boy. This real serious, boy.
Boy, what's serious? Tell me.
All right, well, today, boss gave us boy one big contract. And nobody else get a chance and nobody say nothing.
Boy, you know that ain't right. You know government contracts ain't supposed to go that way.
Yeah, but nobody's saying nothing. Boss man just tell people to sign the papers. Then he send me to meet his boy downtown and collect this envelope.
You need to tell somebody. You need to become a whistleblower.
You know I's a real man, but I never blow no whistle. I be drunk all my life and drunk, you know.
No way. A whistleblower is someone who tells people what they see when they see something wrong happening at work.
But I ain't no whistleblower, and I ain't no snitch. I still white there, you know.
But ain't nobody can know it's you. All you gotta do is call Crime Stoppers, or you could text them from inside the Crack Crime Bahamas app. They don't ask about you. And your call goes straight through to Miami, so nobody know you is. And if you text, your message get mixed up like Kong Salad.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands. This brought to you by Shield Insurance and Prudential Law Adjusters.
So there are low levels of traffic that's moving about throughout the streets of the capital at this point, and those traditional slow areas, they are clearing a lot faster. That line of traffic that's leaving Gladstone Road is gradually getting out of there in record time. I don't expect that traffic line over there to last much longer. Then there's some Alabama Highway, the northbound traffic lines there, getting out into the city at its lowest point. The ride out of there is pretty good at this time, and Carmichael Road is really easy riding to get out there onto Blue Hill Road. It's another Friday, and Fridays are known for being heavy for traffic. So we will be monitoring traffic all day today to see if it turns out that way. But as of now, it's an easy ride for the morning commute just about everywhere across the island. Ensure that you are following the rules of the road to remain safe out there. To a grateful nation that's celebrating again today our second gold medal victory at the Olympics, with Shauna Miller just winning the women's 400. This National Traffic Report is service of Garden of Eden, where you can enjoy the best boil and stew on the island. Delicious Bahamian breakfast from 7:30 each weekend morning, served with grits and Johnny cake. Today, we've got peas and grits and snapper and 2 sides for lunch on the menu, and breakfast lasts until 3 p.m. each day. That's the Garden of Eden in Eastwood. Call on 819-5574. For easy pickup and directions and orders, it's 819-5574. With your Eye Sky look at traffic in real time, I'm VANN.
I'm Rita Foley with an AP News Minute. As the coronavirus surges around the nation, California will require all of its health care and long-term care workers to be fully vaccinated. A Florida hospital chain is suspending elective surgeries and putting beds in conference rooms. In Louisiana, coronavirus patients are lingering in the emergency room before being airlifted elsewhere. And in Washington,
a Republican congressman who's suing House Speaker Nancy Pelosi over mask requirement rules says he's tested positive for COVID-19. South Carolina GOP Congressman Ralph Norman reported via Twitter that he's tested positive for the coronavirus after experiencing minor symptoms. Norman, who says he is vaccinated, is one of 3 Republicans suing Speaker Nancy Pelosi because they were fined for not wearing masks.
AP correspondent Jackie Quinn reporting. I'm Rita Foley.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Friday, August 6th, 2021. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Stephen Hanna on this Friday morning. And this morning we're scheduled to have from IRCA, Carlton Smith, who is the CEO now. And we are scheduled to talk about a number of issues, including BPL, which is having another one of its crises. This morning, people have been calling us and messaging us all morning long, and now we are hearing from BPL. Has issued a statement in our media group. Quote, we are experiencing major issues in Western New Providence. We are advise as conditions allow. And from what the reports we're receiving, some people have been off since just before 10 last night and are still off. Others were off around that time, but came on by 4 o'clock this morning, we're told. But definitely a major issue for the residents of Western New Providence. And I think everybody in most of New Providence is, far too familiar with these situations.
I was going to say, I don't know if people realize that, like, how detrimental this stuff is in this day and age. I think people are still thinking, like, the olden days. So it's like, 97 being the olden days when, like, all of the islands didn't have electricity. And so they're like, oh, it's just a little bit of current going, y'all acting like y'all are dead. People will die because it is hotter now than it has ever been on this planet. And you cannot exist in a house locked away with no reprieve, no air conditioning, no fan, no nothing on a hot, humid night. So this is a health issue at this point.
Who the people are who you say who don't think this? Because I don't think those people are sensible or thinking right. But maybe BPL workers? I don't understand. But
well, let's not say workers. We have to separate the workers from the executives. So
sure.
Because I don't think the workers on the ground think like that.
Okay. Well, I have some stories. But okay, yes. The powers that be, let's put it like that. But this has been a horrible past few weeks. I know we never thought, all right? I think we never thought we'd see the likes of 2019 again. And this is definitely not like 2019, but it is pretty awful. If this was our 2019, we would have been livid. And so this is ridiculous. I guess that set us up for, at least it's not as bad as 2019. Okay, sure.
I don't actually remember what 2019 was like.
Well, maybe you've blacked it out like how we were all in blackouts constantly. That's good. I will never forget.
But it's just that, 2020 was so horrific. It's just like, and then 2019.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do remember there was a point where like it was at least 2 blackouts a day sort of situation, like, and you could set your clock by it.
Mm.
Yeah, I remember that. But
yes,
I don't remember. Was that 2019?
It was 2019. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we don't know what's going on. This is bad, and every time we're getting different excuses from the company, and
you don't like diversity?
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But again, we're trying to connect with. We don't know. Nothing yet. So let's hear from you about this, what this is doing to you. We've had 2 whole days on this show because of this, because we've noticed this. The power's been off in my neighborhood every day. It's been off in many other people's
they don't
area.
like y'all.
I thought for a while we weren't off for months, and then suddenly birds flying around and the power's off. And so we've done 2 shows with Debbie Deal this week talking about this, what we need to do to prepare in the event that this doesn't get better, and what you need to do to make yourself prepared for the future. But this is so costly. People are already messaging us and telling us about how their appliances and their electronics are in danger, or they're sure they're done because of the surge, brownouts since the power has been restored in Western New Providence, and how it comes back in that jerky way. It's just been.
You can't plug nothing directly into no wall in this country.
No.
I heard her saying about making sure you grounded and stuff, and it's like, but also don't ever plug nothing in no wall.
Right, nothing that you want, nothing that you care about.
I lose 2 TVs that way.
Yeah.
And so it's like you can't unplug nothing in raw.
Okay, Stephen.
I like that.
Right. But and then that's very important as well. That once the surge protector takes that hit, that's it. And people, I think a lot of people don't know that. And these are taking hits all the time. So they did their job, and they have to be replaced, which is costly as well. Especially if you get a good one.
They have some that let you know.
Yeah, some let you know.
Like they have a little warning, like to be like, okay, listen, either there's a wiring fault I have one that I'm looking at it now. It's like, okay, it's green. That means the protection is still working. You're still good to go. If it turns red, either something wrong with your wall or something wrong with the plug.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah,
but and that's just the world we live in. Sometimes you got to buy the $30 plug instead of buying the $8 one because you're saying, "Oh, this is surge protector." Nope, that's just an extension.
Yep.
Just giving you extra plugs. Sometimes you got to spend the $30 to save your $200 or your $1,000 piece of equipment.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. So so that's the issue. And then, of course, we have other concerns about the other utilities that IRCA is the regulator, for which IRCA is the regulator. And a whole lot of questions,
I have questions as well. My questions aren't necessarily on the utilities. My questions are on, the original situation that IRCA was set up was doing when they first started in terms of broadcast, because there are persons out there purporting to be news agencies on the freedom of the internet. And when I say everything they've ever published is incorrect, right? Something as simple as the pedestrian who was killed yesterday. They was the first thing they do, they put it out and they say, "Oh, did this person take the vaccine? The police won't tell you, but we will."
Is that a joke?
I'm very serious. That was a post that they put out. It was inside several WhatsApp groups that I'm a part of, and it's like they putting that out there. And then first it was that. Then they said the person was a taxi driver, and then as time progresses, by the time it's morning and I listen to Guardian Radio, it's like this story is nothing like what they said. It don't remotely. They made it seem like this person just collapsed in the middle of the road, out of nothing. They had every sentence in their story was incorrect.
Yeah. Well, the answer to that. IRCA doesn't regulate those. They are broadcasters.
I know.
So that's.
But there must be some way to. I understand that IRCA doesn't regulate the internet, and that's fine. But I feel like, as in most jurisdictions, there must be, and it may not be IRCA, it may be somebody else, but there should be some requirement for you to call yourself a certain thing. Like, I can't go on the internet and say, "Dr. Steven at your service," and nowhere make it clear that I am not a medical doctor without being liable for suit. Well, at some place you have to be like, "Oh, I'm not a real doctor. This is just for entertainment." Like, it have to be somewhere on the page. So I feel like when it comes to news, we also need to start requiring some level of, listen, this is an inform more than a news platform. So, guide yourself.
I mean,
accordingly.
okay, I don't disagree with you, but I mean, unless you are 10, you know this about those sites, right?
No, do I?
No?
People don't know that.
Oh.
And that's the reason why.
Really?
People do not know that. And there are
I
a lot
just
of people
I just don't think they care. They think there's something wrong.
Information from that.
There's something wrong with commercial entities, entities that make money, as in newspapers and radio stations, as opposed to the free press on the internet, right? So they feel that there's something that's less filtered, and so they are fine with the fact that the facts aren't entirely there, but you get the gist of the story. I think a lot of people like that, so that's all on them, unfortunately. But hey, it's up to us as citizens to call out those things and to get to the Attorney General's office or to whomever to file a complaint when you feel like this is absolutely rubbish here. This is probably libelous or something very dangerous, and we have to be more proactive there in the absence of internet police, unfortunately. But I mean, spread the word. If people really think that they're real news organizations and can be trusted, I mean, the fact that the type of words they use, I mean, seriously, could you think this is a legitimate thing?
Once again, but people know. How would they know?
Oh, because
I'm saying, all I'm saying is, because you're assuming that everybody has been exposed to various things for whatever reason, right? Whether it's they grew up in a house where people were watching different sorts of news or were interrogating things correctly or understood how arguments are actually supposed to work. These are a lot of assumptions to levy against a person, right? So my thing is, let's assume that nobody knows anything. Let's assume that it's a 4-year-old child walking into the room and they do not know any better. And they just think that everything they see on the TV is real and happening. You have to put in guidelines in place to protect the public. Because it's not like you make people take a test before they can have access to the internet.
Okay.
Nobody sit an exam. Let me see how intelligent you are before you get the internet. Do you have a doctorate? No. So it's like we have to look out for our people.
Yeah. So as citizens, you do that with the young people around you and with the people who you know might have challenges, and you spread the word. Spread the word. I don't know.
Some of the things the government also need to do.
I don't know.
I'm just
that
saying.
Could be a bit of overreach if that's right next to this person's Instagram page, and then like the government gets involved and says, "No, we don't think this is healthy."
No, I'm not.
For you to
I never
that.
said the government should take it down. I'm saying that.
No, I didn't say take it down either. Just that when the government gets involved in that, that's problematic.
If the person's calling themselves a doctor, it's the same way where like people on the side of the road doing all these tests and they're not. The government don't recognize them.
Okay. Hey, call everybody out when they forward you, as I do. Please don't forward me information from these sites. This is not a real organization. And hopefully that will spread the word there. All right, we finally got him. Carlton Smith with IRCA is with us. Sir, good morning. Great to have you with us.
Good morning, Dwight. No need for the sir. You and I are colleagues.
That's right. That's right. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Morning, Stephen.
Morning, sir. How you doing?
Nah. You and I have a connection that goes much further than Dwight.
Right. I guess Uncle Carlton sounds kind of weird on the radio, but okay. But yes.
All right. So it's been a challenging morning. A lot of people still off with BPL, and they're telling us they're having some issues. It's been a very rough summer so far for consumers, and BPL has been having many challenges. People are frustrated. It's not as bad as it was 2 years ago, of course, but it is bad, and people are paying for the service. And in many areas every day here in New Providence, and the Family Islands are having issues as well. What can IRCA do about this? What is IRCA doing about this?
Well, first of all, the issue of BPL and outages that people are experiencing, they first have an obligation to complain to BPL, that they must give them an answer that they consider reasonable and acceptable. If they are dissatisfied with the response that they get from BPL, then they elevate that complaint to IRCA. IRCA will investigate the matter and find out why people claim that BPL is unresponsive or not responding the way they feel they should to the outages that people are experiencing. And upon completion of that investigation, IRCA makes a determination, and that the determination is made public on IRCA's website. That we also ensure if it's a direct consumer complaint, we respond directly to the consumer so that the consumer understands what decision has been taken or what steps IRCA would have taken to try and address their concern effectively.
All right, so a lot of people are going to say, well, everybody knows that this is happening. Why do I have to take the time out to file a complaint when it's clear all of New Providence is suffering? Why should I have to do this? Can't you just take it upon yourselves? You know it's happening. Why do you have to wait on me?
Because I don't. When I left home this morning, my power was on. When I went to bed last night, my power was on. I didn't have a problem with my power supply. And so it depends on the area of the island that you're in, unless there's an island-wide blackout. 9 times out of 10, IRCA may not know. We have people who live in different areas of New Providence, and if they experience an outage, they'll let us know. But IRCA operates not because we don't police what's going on in the sector. We respond, we put measures in place. we request is abide by the regulations and the law that are in place. And we allow them to operate their businesses to generate sufficient revenue to support the sustainability of the service that they're required to deliver. When there are challenges with delivering that service and they have a major outage in New Providence, they have an obligation to advise IRCA of that major outage. If IRCA is not advised of that outage and somebody brings it to our attention, then we have to go and investigate as to why certain things did not happen the way they ought to happen. But we don't sit and or we don't send people out to find out whether the power is on in this area or that area. That's not how the regulatory function works.
All right, so when someone does make that complaint, what happens next? How does it get accelerated? What does IRCA do? Take it to the next level. What do you do?
Well, IRCA has to request some information from BPL. And if you call me and you said that this has happened, that is your version of the story. IRCA has to hear both sides of the story. IRCA has to weigh the merits of what BPL is telling them to be the problem if BPL accepts that there was a problem. If BPL does not accept there was a problem, then IRCA has to go and investigate and find out how widespread was that problem in that community. Was it isolated to that one particular client, or was it a problem that affected multiple clients or a large area of the population? And upon completion of that investigation, we will determine whether that there is any action to be taken against BPL, whether there is any compensation that may be owed to the consumer. And those things are happen through a process. After the investigation, we would then issue a preliminary determination if it warrants a preliminary determination. And we give BPL an opportunity to comment on IRCA's preliminary decision that it is proposing to make. And then IRCA makes a final determination, and that both of those documents are published on IRCA's website. And if the public is going to benefit from any of IRCA's decision, the public will be aware of what IRCA has done and how it's going to affect them.
Now, Carlton, to a lot of people, what you just said, people are just like, okay, forget it. I can't. This sounds like this is going to take forever. There'll be nothing. This is just the same old, and BPO will continue BPLing. What do you say to people who are feeling that after hearing what you just said?
Process. If you have to go to court, the police has to do an investigation before the matter is determined to be a matter that the prosecution, the Attorney General's office, feels that should be tried in a court of law if there is sufficient evidence to support what the individual is claiming. And so in a similar way, we have some level of judicial responsibility for the sectors. We have to have due process. We have to be transparent. We have to be we cannot be discriminatory. We cannot give the impression that we have an obligation to protect the interests of the consumer, but we also have an obligation to ensure that the licensee or the operator remains a going concern. And so we have to balance those priorities to ensure that one is not disadvantaged by the other.
We know it's a major issue. People are telling us it already this morning that after their outages, their appliances, their electronics are gone, ruined. We hear this monthly, some would say daily. And the process that they have to go through with BPL is cumbersome and frustrating and often gets you nowhere. Is there anything that IRCA is doing or can do to help make that a smoother, easier process?
IRCA has published its consumer protection regulations for the electricity sector. We published those regulations last year. We completed those regulations. Those are on our website. Every single Bahamian should visit our website. When I was logging into the call this morning, I heard a brief discussion about information on the internet. I don't know the full details or the context of that discussion.
It's complicated.
But every single individual in this country, or almost every individual in this country, has access to the internet. And we would encourage people, if you don't have access to the internet, you can contact IRCA directly, and IRCA will help to guide you through the process. That's what we do. But we cannot circumvent the process to deal with an individual case. We have to ensure that that in dealing with that case, we follow due process.
All right. We need to take a break. When we come back, there's a lot more to talk to you about as IRCA's reach is very wide. We want to talk about the telecommunications industry as well and broadcasting might as well. We're going to get into all of that with Carlton Smith with IRCA. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us. We'll be back.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL. Growing wealth for future generations.
It's so summer with Esso, and that's why we're giving away fuel, food, and other fun prizes every week. Simply fuel up at $25 or more. Enter using your receipts, and you could be a winner this summer with Esso. Terms and conditions apply. Visit bettergasmileage.com/its-so-summer or our Facebook page for details. Promotion ends August 29th, 2021. It's fun! Food, fuel, and other great prizes every week. The Esso brand is a trademark of ExxonMobil Corporation and is used under license.
Wait, you know what's going down tomorrow?
Nobody, what happening?
Joe bringing these knives to school. He could do Junior in.
For what?
Wait, he fooled with Joe girl.
Mother sick. And you know Junior don't back down for nothing. So that means you got a big fight tomorrow.
So whose side you want?
Side? I trying to stay in school, not Simpson Pen. We gotta tell somebody about this fight.
Tell somebody? I ain't no snitch. I mean cool, you know.
Wait, if you so cool, then you need to stay in school and stay out of the fight.
Yeah, but if I don't hang on Joe's side, how many boys coming for me next?
All right, so we definitely gotta tell somebody. We gotta prevent the fight.
What I say, I don't want nobody call me snitch.
We could just call Crime Stoppers. You could report what you know, and nobody gotta know it's you.
So how did I wait?
All you gotta do is call them, or you text them through the Croc Crime Bahamas app, and nobody can know it's you.
Then the police come looking for me for more info, and when they finish with them, Joe them coming looking for me?
When you call Crime Stoppers, the call go directly to Miami, and they don't ask nothing about you. Then you can get the pen from them, and you can claim a reward later using that same pen.
Plus, everything's scrambled, so nobody can read what you're saying.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
Switching your mortgage to CIBC First Caribbean is easy, affordable, and convenient. We'll help with your switching cost, give you 3 months payment free, and waive your commitment fees so you can enjoy the break you need. Plus, you'll get up to 95% financing and a pre-approved Visa Gold or Platinum credit card with 5,000 bonus reward points and more. Switch your home base to Caribbean. Terms and conditions apply. Visit CIBCFCIB.com for more information.
It's time for your Morning Business Report, brought to you by CFAL. In response to the U.S. Department of State's recent investment climate report that outlines significant downsides to investment in the Bahamas, especially in regards to procurement, the Ministry of Finance is contending that the Bahamas has enacted the most progressive procurement legislation in the region, and the government has made steady progress to improve the ease of doing business in the country. The statement revealing that the new procurement provisions will begin in earnest from September 1st. The ministry in the statement saying that while it acknowledges the 2021 investment climate report by the State Department, the investor community can be reassured that the government has not only taken concrete steps to improve the process, but that the new Public Procurement Act is now a standard bearer of modern, progressive procurement standards. The statement also says the government has taken firm steps to address the deficiencies that impede the ease of doing business in the country. Unlike many industries that were adversely impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, the insurance industry saw marginal gains in 2020, generating approximately $844.5 million in gross premiums. That's according to a recently released annual report for 2020 by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas. Superintendent Michelle Field says gross premiums were up by $6.9 million over the previous year, approximately 7% of the country's nominal gross domestic product. Financial results for the year ending 2020 indicated that prudent management and stewardship of the Commission's resources and that annual income, primarily derived from the retention of 25% of premium tax collected from registered insurers on behalf of the government, grew by 7.22% in comparison to the year before. And Carnival Cruise Line arriving in the Bahamas today for the first time in 16 months, sailing into the port of Nassau with its newest ship, Carnival's Mardi Gras, on its maiden voyage. The Bahamian flagged LNG-powered vessel will be the first of its kind at Nassau's cruise port and the ship's third port of call since leaving its home port at Port Canaveral, Florida, on July 31st on an Eastern Caribbean cruise. According to Carnival, the Mardi Gras is the first of its kind in the Americas and has the marine industry's most advanced fuel technology. Carnival decided to have the Mardi Gras placed on the Bahamas' vessel registry, and the ship will fly the Bahamian flag. You can read more about this in today's Guardian business section. Overseas, United Airlines will require employees in the U.S. to be vaccinated against COVID-19 by late October, perhaps even sooner, joining a growing number of big corporations that are responding to a surge in virus cases. Company leaders called it a matter of safety and cited incredibly compelling evidence of the effectiveness of the vaccines. CEO Scott Kirby and President Brett Hart telling employees today that they know that many of their employees would disagree with the decision, but they said that the facts are clear. Quote, everyone is safer when everyone is vaccinated. United, which has 67,000 employees in the U.S., is the first major U.S. airline to announce it will require vaccination for workers. The airline nation of new hires since mid-June. Unvaccinated workers are required to wear face masks at company offices. In your Market Watch recapping trading on the BISX from Thursday, market movers, AML Foods Limited moving 2,000 shares, closing unchanged at $6.50. Bank of the Bahamas moving 3,500, down 7 cents to $1.35. Cable Bahamas moving 2,000, unchanged at $3.25. Consolidated Water up 1 cent to $2.52. Emira Incorporated up 2 cents to $11.39. The BISX All Share Index closing at 1,977.11, down 0.49. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And tune in Monday evenings at 6:30 p.m. for CFAL Talks right here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
It's so summer with Esso, and that's why we're giving away thousands of dollars in fuel, food, and other fun prizes every week. Simply fuel up at $25 or more. Enter using your receipt, and you could be a winner this summer with Esso. Terms and conditions apply. Visit Better Gas Miler or our Facebook page for details. Promotion ends August 29th, 2021. It's fun! Food, fuel, and other great prizes every week. The Esso brand is a trademark of ExxonMobil Corporation and is used under license.
Someone give me a big shirt with say Steven on it. Goal! Goal, cool. Steven had to come there and dog up the tracks. You're around here making fun of people's shirt? Yeah, Steven say Bohemian Aerodynamics. Everybody getting their food eat. Big shirt went, so talk that. Steven, show the world what he write. They laugh at him, say he got a big shirt. Steven, say y'all go.
We're back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong along with Stephen Hanna. And we are talking with Carlton Smith, CEO of IRCA this morning. Carlton, I know that you're a big sportsman. 2 golds in the 400 meters. This is unbelievable, isn't it?
Well, for the benefit of people who don't know, sports is where I started my career in media. I was a sports reporter at the Tribune and became a sportscaster at the Broadcasting Corporation. I was always very passionate about sport. And, today's, this Olympic Games achievement is historic for this country. We've never had a situation where we've won 2 individual gold medals at any Olympic Games before. We've had individual gold medalists, but not 2 at one Olympic Games. And that achievement by Shawnee Miller and Stephen Gardner is not only remarkable, but it demonstrates the ability of Bahamian athletes coming from a small country like ours with less than 500,000 people. When you consider some of the larger countries with larger populations in the Bahamas are still looking to win their first Olympic medal in their history.
Yeah.
And it's remarkable what those 2 young people have been able to achieve. And Shawnee to be able to repeat as Olympic champion in the 400 meters is an exceptional achievement. Very few people can say that they are consecutive Olympic Games champions in a particular event.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so let's get back to IRCA and telecommunications. It's been challenging as well this year. I know perhaps it's because people are at home so much since last year. We've been noticing it, but people reporting, at least telling us that internet has been spotty, cell service in some areas, but mainly the internet. IRCA, you're seeing this as well? You're hearing these reports as well? And what do you know about what's happening?
When the pandemic impacted the world in February of last year, the entire world had to determine how are we going to continue to function and remain relevant during this period. And the only response was telecommunications, broadband infrastructure that has been developed globally to help facilitate a transition to a digitally inclusive society. There was a plan based on the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations to ensure that every country was working to develop infrastructure that could facilitate global interactions across the World Wide Web, across the internet. That agenda was fast forwarded in 2020. Nobody saw it coming. Nobody believed that we would have to resort to full online communication and engagement and execution of our work at that juncture in the development of broadband infrastructure globally. And so IRCA, like everybody else, had some serious challenges. We had to determine exactly how we were going to implement our new work requirements to work from home. And so we had to put some measures in place. We discovered that at our headquarters, our broadband capacity was creating some challenges for us. Connectivity issues, sustainable service, because we now had a greater demand. We were doing any number of different things. We were, instead of doing meetings and major meetings in person, we had to now do those virtually. We had to identify platforms that were going to allow us to be able to do those things. And so we had to significantly upgrade our broadband capacity to be able to effectively carry out our work. It has improved dramatically since we have made that investment in upgrading our capacity. And so I having had the experience at home as well, and having talked to any number of people who had the experience, that it is a challenge. And as you know, in our country, where classes of people nowadays, affordability for some people may be a challenge. And when you look at working class communities and poor communities in New Providence and in other parts of this country, access to services is a major challenge.
All right, so am I wrong?
And sometimes it may not be necessarily be access, it's affordability, whether they can afford the service. And so we're working to ensure that accessibility and affordability issues are addressed by the operators. And that's a difficult balancing act when you have to think about the company's ability to remain economically viable and to be able to support not only the delivery of services, but the employees who are required to deliver those services.
All right, so I don't want to put words in your mouth. Are you saying that if consumers are having challenges, it's likely because the package they have already might not be suitable for their needs, and if they are able to upgrade, then that might be what's needed? And is that what you're saying?
That may be a solution, but that's not what I'm saying. I was just giving you an idea of the experience that we had at ERCOT.
Okay.
But every single case must be addressed on its merit, on its own merit. I don't know the nature of the challenge that people are having. I don't know the capacity of service that they are able to afford. I don't know what level of usage they are required. They require or they make on a daily basis. So all of those things factor into your ability or whether you have sufficient capacity, or whether you have sufficient capacity, or there may be some other issue, technical issue on the other end. That is a matter that the individual consumer, based on a contract that they entered into with the service provider, should be able to have and determine what the actual problem is, and devise a plan on how they, with the service provider, can address their problem.
All right, so at this point, ERCOT doesn't have an overwhelming number of complaints about people's service in terms of internet and internet dropping or outages. That you're not getting a lot of that?
Not in complaints, no. We have heard people see you in passing and they say, I'm having a problem with my internet service, and we refer them to their service provider and go. Mm-hmm. They should go directly to their service. The contract is between them and the service provider in the first instance. And so they must know what their contract provides for them, and they should be able to determine from the service provider what the service provider is providing to them, and they should be able to determine whether or not what they are paying for is what they are actually receiving. And if they are actually receiving that or not receiving that, then they should go back to the service provider and say, these are the problems I'm having. You said that you're sending me this amount of bandwidth, and I'm not receiving that. And they have to address it at that contractual level first. Give the operator an opportunity to address the problem that you and the operator have identified. And if there is a dispute on what the issue is, whether there's a disagreement on what the problem is, then that should be elevated to ERCA.
Okay. All right. Along these lines, we know that this was always the plan, that there would be, this was a third additional mobile company. And tell us where things stand with that. You got opinions from the two existing ones about this, and they had some interesting things to say. Give us an update on where things stand with that right now.
Well, we are guided by government policy. The regulations that ERCA put in place, the initiatives that ERCA embark on are driven in large measure by government policy. The electronic communications sector policy was renewed in 2020 for a period of 3 years statutorily. In that policy document, the government has asked ERCA to explore the feasibility of a third operator in the country. That's a process. And so ERCA is embarking on a study to determine whether or not there is a need or whether the economy could sustain a third operator in the mobile sector. And so once we would have completed that work, we would then advise the government and we would publish our findings on our website regarding that particular matter.
Mm-hmm. We know that one of the companies said, well, the country will have to decide if a third operator or advancing to the latest technology like 5G, and that it would have to be one or the other. Do you agree with that, and what do you say to that?
Well, the 5G conversation is an entirely different conversation. And it is premature for me to say whether I agree with that position. That's a position from an operator that is intimately involved in the day-to-day operations of the telecommunications sector. 5G is a global conversation at this time, but 5G in the context of the country's vision for the telecommunications sector is a different story because, as I said before, we're guided by government policy. While we must be doing our research now on 5G technology and how that's being implemented or rolled out in developed countries, in the more developed countries of the world, premature in advancing or in promoting the introduction of 5G technology. 5G technology by the operator, they can take measures if they so desire to improve their infrastructure to be able to facilitate 5G technology, because many of the mobile phones are now, the new mobile phones are 5G, right. the high-end mobile phones. And so there are a couple of things to consider. The government's vision for the country moving forward, for the sector moving forward, the operators' business case for what they perceive to be newer technology and how that will impact their business, and ERCA's responsibility to ensure that all of those considerations are factored in to any decision that ERCA takes regarding regulations to facilitate a more ubiquitous deployment of 5G technology, or incremental deployment of 5G technology.
When will your assessment be completed?
The assessment for the mobile phone?
Yes.
For the third operator?
That's right.
We have an obligation to report to the government next year.
Okay.
2022.
Okay.
According to the policy.
I've been looking forward to that. This got a lot of attention a few weeks back with radio, moving to radio broadcasting, and the ability for some additional stations. Let's talk about that. People were jumping to some conclusions, it seems. But especially in New Providence, we know that has been. We're so congested with the number of stations we have here. But explain to us what's happening here and how there is this space available.
So let's put it into context. In 2014, I was still in radio at the time, so I was intimately involved in this conversation about harmful interference between radio stations. And ERCO was a relatively new regulator, and we're still relatively new. ERCO was a little over 4 years into its existence, established in 2009. And managing the radio FM spectrum band was a new concept to ERCO. And ERCO inherited licenses that were issued prior to the introduction of independent regulations in this country. And they were working to facilitate all of these licenses on the FM band. And the licenses were most of them, or if not all of them, were approved by ERCO, and licenses granted to companies to establish under certain guidelines. But the technical standards for operation were not a part of the initial license that people received. As a result, if you're building a radio station, you determine the effective radiated power that you would use, whether it's a 5 kW, 10 kW, 20 kW, 50 kW transmitter. And you determine the polarization of your antenna, where you want your signal to go. And so as a result of that earlier in the game, it created harmful interference. And so ERCO had to determine, how do we address this? And so they did some research and ultimately determined that they had to manage the technical standards. The effective radiated power had to be managed, the polarization of the antenna had to be managed, and the spacing on the FM band had to be managed. And to reduce the possibility and eliminate harmful interference from radio station to radio station. And subsequent to that, ERCO gave those technical standards were implemented in 2019. And ERCO gave radio stations an 18-month period to comply, and then subsequent to that conducted assessments, including a spectrum occupancy survey that helps ERCO to determine whether or not harmful interference was continuing. In addition to that, ERCO wrote to every licensee, FM broadcasting licensee, requesting information on whether they were still receiving harmful interference. We didn't get responses from all licensees, but we got significant responses to those requests. Mm-hmm. And as a result of that, we determined that there was no longer any issue of harmful interference. And there were 2 spaces available on the FM band in New Providence where licenses could be issued under strict technical requirements. And that's how we got to the point where we have advertised for requests for applications for those 2 radio licenses, FM licenses.
What's the response been like so far?
It's difficult to say because applications in sealed envelopes, and I haven't received any official document from anybody saying that this is a license application in a sealed envelope for consideration.
Is there a time period? Is there a deadline for people to apply, or this is just
there is a deadline.
Okay.
The deadline is the 13th of August next Friday.
Fast approaching. Okay. We're running out of time. I wanted to talk about the election as well, election rules, but I guess that's a whole other show. Maybe we should do that as another show. in a few weeks or so. But thank you very much, Carlton Smith. It is always a pleasure. I think this is the first time we've had you on in your new role as CEO, but I'm sure it won't be the last. This is a texter from when you were here with us. This person says here, as Mr. Smith's former show's most frequent texter, please tell him we miss him, and it's great to hear his voice again, and that he's doing well. So you are missed, Carlton, by us and many of the Guardian Radio listeners. But great to talk.
Well, that's good to know. So if Urca decides to get rid of me, I may still have a place.
Okay. Yes, indeed. All right. Thank you again. Have a great weekend. Appreciate the time this morning. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you, Dwight.
And Stephen Hanna, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Enjoy your weekend.
All right.
Talk again next week. And again, congratulations to Sean Emil Weibo and, of course, to Stephen Gardner, and 2 goals for the Bahamas. And let's celebrate, folks. Have a great weekend. We'll be back on Monday morning with more Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. And a belated happy birthday. I can't believe I forgot it yesterday, to my producer, Arlington Roll. Thank you very much. I can't believe you allowed me to make you work on your birthday. But anyway, we'll make it up to you. Thank you very much. We're out of here. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.